Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. Hello. Welcome back to the Deep Blue everyone. I am Noira, the sea fox who sells escapism and daydreams. How are you guys doing today? Look, I started with no scoff, ma. How you guys doing? I got a glass of wine next to me and it's pretty much the end of the week for me. Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, there's still Friday, of course. But it is the end of the week streaming, at least. How are you guys? Good to have you guys back at the Deep Blue, and thank you for queuing right outside. Thank you. Let me greet you guys over here. I see... Who's the first? I see Zolty as the first, followed by Kyle Gunn. Zolty has like a 2-time streak already. That's crazy. Zolty being the first for 2 times in a row. Kyle being second. And third being Jackson. And fourth is our drunk scribe, Cheese. And fifth is Ikazan. Grats, y'all's first 5. But also Cross9S is the first on YouTube side. Welcome back, y'all's. And Zoe, I see you. And Mythos as well. Sven, Farhan, Licht, Sly, Charles, Charles Maximus, Dash Unknown, Lieutenant, that's Lieutenant Charles Maximus, guys. Premium Chatter, Sheena. Oh, YouTube is not showing, hold on, sorry about that. I keep on forgetting to do that, man, I don't know why. Happens so often. There you go. I also see Son of Herp, Cobalt Strider, Tyrandus, and Kale is here. My mama Kale is here. The 2.0 model is done, by the way, guys, but like I can't show you guys it yet, obviously, because, well, we have a whole thing set up for it. You guys gotta be a tad bit more patient, okay? Saigon is here too, and I see Ninja, I see Valtteri. Who else do I see here? Did I miss anyone? Lucifer. BH is here too. And 2A Broadcast. Welcome back to the Deep Blue, hey? And I see Hunter of YouTube. And Crimsons. Welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. September is release date, right? Where did you get September? I'm actually going to try to see if I can debut earlier, honestly. I'm gonna see if I can do it by like Q3. We are going into Q3, right? Yeah, in general. How are we already going into the Q3 of 2005? Isn't 2025? Isn't that crazy? I feel like 2025 just started. How are we already past the midpoint? What the hell? 2.0 debut dates? Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can do it by start of Q3. Because Q2 is ending already. Hopefully I'm able to do so. Or even if I can, I'm gonna try to see if I can do it like mid or like end of June. We'll see. I'll try my best, guys. Beowulf and Kitty, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Yeah, time is flying. You don't want to be old. Hey, being old? Well, I was gonna say there are some good well, yes, there is some good stuff from being old, but there's also some bad stuff. But hey, I mean, ultimately, you take life by what it is, and enjoy it with what you have. One good thing about being older, or aging, or growing older, is that your hormones start to calm down a tad bit, and then your brain starts to be a little bit calmer too. So that's a good thing about it. That's where you get a little bit more maturity and you're a bit calmer compared to when you were younger. Especially if you had like zoomies tendency when you're younger. I did. You will have less zoomies when you're older. The bad side of it is that things will start to creak and crack. Like your back, or like when you try to kind of circle your head around to kind of just get a little bit of flexibility around your neck. Shit cracks, bro. But hey, growing older isn't too bad now, is it? We like older women. Oh, I know you guys like older women. That's why you guys are here. It's not both good and bad that comes with getting older. Take it stride and you'll do fine. I do think that, however, that there's definitely always ways to enjoy whatever part of life you're at. Definitely. Even when you're younger, when you're older. For example, I do think that when you're younger, like when you're still a young child, the best way to enjoy that is to be a child. The children who grow up too fast, I feel sad for them. Like they never get the opportunity to be a child, you know, and you don't get that back. Same thing with like teenagers growing up too fast and stuff like that. Mr. Burn from Noira, I'm being kind today, very kind. Jazz and wine will pair really well with my regular and edibles. Oh wow, how did Chunky Cat go yesterday? I tuned out a bit early. Oh, Chunky was crazy. Yesterday's stream was so fucking crazy. If you guys missed it, you guys should watch the VOD. It was, I mean, that's the least you could do. I'm pretty sure I sacrificed a certain amount of my lifespan playing that game. I mean, I could be immortal because I could be a god, but it doesn't mean I did not sacrifice an amount of lifespan for it. With the amount of rage, frustration, and sadness I went through for playing Only Way is Down yesterday. Time isn't a renewable resource. Some VTuber, I think. Yeah, I wonder whose quote that is, right? Time is not a renewable resource. The Chronicles of Chonkulus were pretty chunky. Oh yeah. Uzu Chonky Chonkuruto. I love that. Yeah, at one point Chonky turned into a ninja of hidden leaf village. And he was called Uzu Chonky Chonkuruto, and his dream was to become Chonkage. Chonktebayo. She evaporated a little faster that day. Yeah, truly, yes. I did. A little bit of my water saturation was a little bit down, you know. I was a little bit more salty. There was more salt to my water. Should we look for some sacrifices? Wait, why are you looking for sacrifices? Oh, to bring back my lifespan? Yeah, sure. Bring sacrifices in the form of whiskey. How's that? I've recently been very intrigued with Taiwanese whiskey, by the way, guys. They're pretty great. They taste different from Japanese whiskey. So hey, bring me some Taiwanese whiskey for the shrine. I'm not saying I'll take it, but like, you know, good things happen when you put stuff on the shrine. Sorry, I missed some chat. Let me catch up. Hi there, Drew. Oh, Drew edits. Guys, it's one of my editors. Hi, Drew. Never get those years back, but I'm looking forward to looking towards the future. Yeah, I think you guys know my recent video, right? A lot of people, I feel like they were commenting in a way where they felt like the video, for context, the video is about the quiet trait of growing older, which is mostly you become colder, more jaded, more skeptical, everything along those parallels. You become, yeah, more curmudgeonly because you've gone through life a good decent amount. So it's a lot of like, I've been there before, so you're more skeptical and everything like that. So you lose the naivety and wide-eyed wonder that you have maybe perhaps when you were younger. That's the whole premise of the video. You guys can check it out. It's only like 1 minute or 30 or something. And a lot of people commented, but they didn't comment in a way where they thought it was depressing, but rather it was kind of sad, nostalgic, because it's just an it is what it is thing, isn't it? Growing older and just not having the same I was gonna say cadence, that's not the right word. Not having the same view of life as you would have back then. But on the flip side, Despite that, despite growing older, you changing as a person because you become a tad bit more jaded, I do think that there's a balance to strike somewhere. Do you see those videos? Usually they're viral of like really old people. When I say really old, I'm talking about like a grandma or a grandpa just still having fun. That's proof enough that you can technically still retain your youthful energy somewhat with age, but it's just a matter of how, right? Wait, let me we're not a cult, Kale. Oh my god. Why do we have Kale now during the cult allegations? I wish I could drink. I miss trying whiskey from other countries. Hey, if you can't drink anymore, it's okay. Honestly, with drinking, it's an acquired taste. I do think that once you don't drink for a while, drinking is kind of like meh. Because when I first started drinking, I did not like the taste of it. It's kind of like cigarettes, I would assume. Like when I first started cigarettes, I thought it tasted shit. That's why I never touched that thing for like a long while. But then once I got used to cigarettes, I liked it. But then now that I'm off of cigarettes, or I haven't had a cigarette for like the longest time, or whenever I'm off cigarettes, whenever I get back to it again, it tastes shit again. I have a feeling drinks are somewhat like that. Liquors, at least. You can look back through all the crazy adventure you had when you were young and said, damn, that's been a crazy ride. Yeah. It's like me, I remember the 80s, but now the new generation says you're from the 1900s hits hard. Nah. Hi there, pal. Birthdays are not the same vibes compared to birthdays during teenage years. Yeah, I mean, it's just a natural process of growing older, isn't it? Hi, Peter. Guys, can we have another congrats for Peter? Peter recently had a new kid. He's a dad now. Can we have a very warm congratulations for Peter again? I'll drink to that, Peter. Cheers. If you guys got the cheers emote, do a cheers, guys. Cheers, Peter. Oh, wine is so good. Sorry, I've just got to scroll down because I missed a lot of chat. You know what I appreciate about titlings? I do feel like I do feel that titlings are a good chunk of titlings are on the older side of the demographic. And when I say older, it's relatively older of YouTube VTuber enjoyers. That's what I mean. So it's interesting, and I love seeing people be like, oh yeah, I just had my kid, you know, I just switched jobs, and like just kind of update their progress in life. It's very intriguing and fun and just interesting for me. I mean, obviously I'm older than all of you guys regardless, but you know, it's still nice to observe you guys' life path and improvements and growth and stuff like that, being the god that I am. Yes, I'm just, you know, pompously observing the lives of mortals that I see at the deep blue, silently judging for my mere entertainment. Do we call them childlings? Stop trying to think of ways to turn a kid into a tideling. No, don't do that. No. We don't want some accidental brainwashing happening, okay? You're only as old as you feel. In unrelated news, I turned 312 last week. Congrats on turning 312. I'd like to know that age gap. That you think that is. What do you mean age gap? You mean, oh, the age gap between VTuber enjoyers and the older side of it? Sly, thank you for 2 months of being a loyal titling of the Deep Blue. Also, I just realized I think I do have to reset my my membership tier on YouTube side because it doesn't seem to want to rename. I need to do that. Thank you for being 2 months a titler. Hope you enjoyed your moments here. Although I don't know how I feel being reminded by an ancient sea fox that I'm a boomer. Hey, I'm not calling you guys out. I technically don't know how old you guys are. I can kind of estimate, but like I don't know how old you guys are. But I enjoy having these sort of more quote-unquote mature talks with you guys, you know what I mean? Because if we're talking about like the younger demographic of VTuber enjoyers, we're talking about like 18 to 24. This is according to general demographics and statistics. It's 18 to 24 and then it's 25 plus. It's 25 to 32 or something, I can't remember, and then it's 32 plus. That's usually the general statistical categories. So yeah, I think a lot of you guys are on the 25 plus. I wouldn't even say 32. I know some of you guys are older than that. So 25 plus. I know some of you guys are younger though, like 18 and stuff, but a good chunk of you guys are also 25 plus, right? Generational religion. No, generational Noira religion. No, okay, don't give them ideas. And no, we are, any kind of brainwashing is bad, okay? Drank with the men of the family last night to open a 200 euro whiskey, 18-year-old single Maltamdu scotch. Damn good stuff. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. You're making me jealous. I'm gonna drink. I'd love to try that. Holy shit. 200 euro whiskey. Good stuff. I hope you had a good time with them, hey? With the men of your family? Well, I'm like older than 95% of the other titlings, so I feel decrepit and ancient myself. 25 plus, yeah, that's a rough estimate. Does behaving like a grumpy grandpa count? Curmudgeonly? Now we're talking about age as a number in itself, just in general, meaning like the number of years of experience you have under your belt being alive. How many years have you been alive? But yeah, I guess 25 plus is a good estimate. You're 19, 4 decades ago, I think. And here I am getting closer to 30. Hey, I'ma just tell you that being 30 is nowadays isn't too bad. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I feel like, let's say 10 or 20 years ago, no, way back when, the older we go, like the more in the past we go, you'll notice that being the age of 30 meant much more. Like, for example, during the days of medieval times and like kingdoms and shit like that, people were kings and like doing great stuff by the age of 18. Look at Alexander the Great. So imagine being 30 was crazy. But then again, people also died faster and younger back then. But nowadays I feel like being 30 or hitting 30, I think 20 years ago it would have meant much more, but nowadays not as much. Which makes sense because the world is much more complex than it used to be in a certain way. Thus, to be fair, I think it definitely takes more years to mature in a sense. What do you guys reckon? Back to work, a lot of meat to cut for the holiday weekend. I'll keep my earpiece. Oh, thanks, cool gamer. Hope you enjoy whatever we yap about here. I have the back and knees of a 60-year-old. Time to work on that, Kale. Trust me, it's easier to do small changes now versus having to go back and forth with doctors or chiropractors or like the physiotherapist. It's much cheaper to fix it now when you're younger. I've always liked Cuban rum. It's going to hit hard and will another cold and flu right out of you. Cuban rum? Mostly I know if you have a cold or flu, Jägermeisters are good. I don't know so much about Cuban rum. I've never tried. Could be far worse at my age. Happy to have what I have right now. I can see thy age through thy model. Do not think thy appearance can deceive me. My model looks very young. What are you talking about? My model looks so young to the point that when some people make hag jokes, some uninitiated people be like, She does not look like a hag. She looks young. She looks like 20s, like early 20s. You can't be calling her a hag. Your model looks around 23. Yeah, see what I mean? My model does not look old. Dark cortex, we're just yapping as usual. By gamer logic, I will now identify as 18. Caesar became emperor at 40. Imagine that. Average lifespan increase, hence the growing up period stretches. That's an interesting phenomenon, don't you think? The average lifespan increases, thus the rate of maturity and I guess achievement increases. Is it more of a societal pressure thing, you reckon? It's like, oh, I'm gonna die soon, I need to do something sort of mentality. Things I love about Noira: her voice and accent, her presence, her personality, her gaming skills, her age. That's a crazy thing to say. I can't believe you included age in there. But thank you. That's quite a compliment now, isn't it? You can't really say that about a lot of people. It was a whole lot harder back then to survive. We have an unprecedented luxury in being able to still accomplish so much. A lot of truth in there. 30 is the new 20, really. It is, to a certain extent. Except for, you know, when your body starts physiologically just getting fucked over because of age. Like, physically, your bones start creaking and shit like that. But technically, if you exercise, it's not as bad. But even my fit friends, as I know it, they do still feel the effects of aging. Like, their stamina is less, and that their joints aren't as flexible as they used to be. And then you wake up suddenly with back pain sort of shit. And these are like my fit friends. So yes, exercise can definitely slow the process down or make you age physically less into somewhat. But it's still there. Hey there, Adumski. Will you play Helldivers 2 with me? I cannot. I really don't play games outside of streams, guys. More like I rarely play games outside of streams. No, it's definitely One Hag Summer. Wow. Did you just combine One-san and Hag? What is that even? No, it's only One-san. You don't get to call me Hag. It's One-san. It's only One-san. Thank you very much. Thank you. We do not prescribe to these VTuber cultures of calling older women Hag. We may joke about it, but here at the Deep Blue, it's only One-sama. Cherry, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Instead of saying I'm X years old, can we start saying I'm level X so we feel better about getting older? I don't think that helps. It's still a number, you know? It's the number that makes you feel old. Can I have your permission to join my friends to join their Arma 3 match? Why are you asking my permission to go and play games with your friends? I'm not your mum. Go ahead. If you want to go play games, go ahead. Oh, you guys don't need to ask for my permission. You guys don't need to ask for my permission to watch other VTubers. You guys don't need to ask my permission to watch something else. All these sort of things. You guys don't have to, alright? Because I am a generous and gracious God. You don't have to worry about it. Maybe since there are more experienced people now, example, average age in politics and leadership, it takes it more from us to compete with those. So you just have to learn for longer and staying more. The flip side is, I do wonder what the statistics are for general average age for like certain industries and jobs. Because I do feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like sometimes the older people stifle the progress of younger people. I don't mean this in a negative or political way or anything, of course. It's an observation of mine because I think it's a natural thing to happen. Like I said in my video and what we talked about earlier, you tend to become more skeptical, more jaded, etc. Though you do technically get wiser and more mature in that sort of sense. But Imagine if you're just like, say, in your 70s or 80s, and then you're just very jaded and skeptical. And then you have someone new and brilliant who may have some really great ideas, but maybe some part of you has this sort of age ego or like this skepticism or that jadedness that be like, no, shut up. You know what I mean? I do feel like that happens sometimes. It depends on the industry though, and like depends on the workplace. Thank you for the hydrate. I refer to age in terms of rarity gear. Oh, like purple and then like orange. Like, oh shit, I just got out of molten core. Orange. What did you used to call it? Something of Sargeras? The molten core, the first orange weapon in World of Warcraft. My eyes glancing over as I play Clay Obscure. She said we didn't need to ask to play games. Why? Don't ask about my permissions from me. See? Don't worry about it. I am a generous god. On the topic of jobs, recently local government proposed the idea to remove the age limit / minimum on job requirements. I do think with certain jobs it makes sense to have a minimum age. For example, if you work at a bar, right? And or maybe, I don't know, I feel like it makes sense to have a minimum for some stuff. But I can't think of any right now. What's a good argument against having a minimum age in job requirements, guys? So maybe I can like think a bit on what I said just now. Because off the top of my head, it does sound like certain jobs would require an age requirement, like a minimum age. But I can't think of any. Other than like jobs at bars and stuff. Family businesses. What about family businesses? Now that you bring that up brings a good point. Child labor. No, I think we're talking about definitely there's a minimum of like children for sure. But we're talking about, I think that rule is probably for like 18 plus. You get what I mean? Like if, I think the minimum age to work is probably 18 plus. That's what I'm saying. But like for everything else, maybe working at a bar, for example, I think if I want someone, a bartender working at the bar who needs to be wise enough to see whether this person is allowed more drinks or not, I feel like I would prefer a more experienced bartender. In that sort of sense. Management should be somewhat older than 18. Yeah, because it makes sense, right? You can just assume that your age is like the amount of experiences you've had. But yes, management should be older than 18. That also makes sense. Because especially... well, yeah, you need experience for management. I mean, you can try for management, but if we're looking for like a role that requires a lot of experience or previous experiences, like management or a leadership position, it makes sense to have a certain age target for it. Goal Center, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. You need to be 18 plus with a liquor license to serve alcohol in a restaurant, but a 16-year-old can grab the wine bottle off the table. That is true. Can we stop saying child labor in chat? What the hell is this in chat? You guys know what I was talking about. Don't get me TOS or something. Bartenders should be at least of legal drinking age so they can sample their own products. Don't you think that bartenders should be also a tad bit older to know how to navigate around people? Or like more senior bartenders should at least. Because I feel like navigating around people, especially drunk people, requires a certain amount of experience. 18 plus due to sharp knives and sulfur meat, but cashier or suckers can be... Oh, yeah. Dev met under 21 bartenders in my days? Bro, that's illegal, innit? Hi, Parody, by the way. Thank you for the raid last time. Have you heard of the manager effect, where employees are only promoted to until they are bad at the job? I feel like I didn't explain it correctly. Promoted until they are bad at the job? No. Huh, what is that? I don't think I've heard of that. There's also adult-only places where minimum age requirements are necessary by law. Know how to navigate around people isn't tied to age. It's more of an individual thing, and it's the reason interviews are important. That's true, but like age can be quite a determinant for it, I feel like. At least my argument is that at least if you're 18 versus say you're 25, that means you've at least had 2 + 5, 7 years more of possibility of interacting with people. You get what I mean? It's that sort of objective, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I personally have never been involved in a recruitment process where age was a determining factor for what they were supposed to do. Except of course the minimum of like 18 to get a job. But yeah, leadership management positions, I might consider it, but it was never like a binary thing. Local job recruiters be like looking for young applicants, minimum experience of 5 years, good looking, etc. And they themselves not saying anything about the job description. Oh yeah, that's a thing here. In my country, that's a thing. In our country, that's a thing. They be like, okay, looking for a cashier who's like a max of 24 years old, attractive, and good looking, knows how to dress. And when I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck? It's so weird how they do job recruitments here. But yes, definitely, like, it doesn't happen elsewhere. It's just particularly in our country, Farhan. I've known plenty of adults with less maturity than kids. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Just like, I mean, when you're looking for a partner, a spouse, or like, you know, someone to date, age really isn't a determining factor, but it can kind of give you, I guess, an estimate of how it would be like. Like if you hear that someone is 50 years old, you would assume that they would act like with certain maturity, but it of course doesn't discount the possibility of them just acting immature as fuck. At the end of the day, I hate using that word. God damn it, manager son. Ultimately, it really depends on their EQ that they've built up and the amount of life experiences, varying life experiences that they have had to open up their own perspectives about life. The cert I'm studying for right now is supposed to be for people with a year of experience in the field, but you can't get the job without the cert. That's so fucked up. I mean, people lie on CVs and stuff like that, and I think it's understandable because I don't know how, but like in the current day and age, everything requires experience. It's like people forget that you start off without experience. But to be fair, when you're working with someone who has had experience working at a company or under someone before compared to someone who has never, there's a huge difference. There is quite a big difference. But I think it's silly to always require experience for everything, because obviously there should always be entry jobs. I think it's inhumane to just expect experience out of everything. I've seen some design and video editing ones where they also require you to be good looking, like they put it in their requirements. Yeah, because I guess that's because of presentation things, but like what's even the point of putting it in the job requirements? Like, oh, you need to be good looking. What if I'm just a narcissistic fuck? You know, of course I'm good looking. Like, what is even the point? I mean, just give the the solid job scope and description, right? And what the job is about. And then everything else, just leave it up to the interview. Older you get, more responsibilities you get. On average, an adult over 25 should be more mature than someone aged 16 to 20. Yes, on average. But of course, there are outliers. And I think, honestly, you know how the age of being an adult and you're allowed to drive, drink, and everything is mostly like 8. Is it 18 in the US? It's 21 in Australia to drink. You can really see at the age of 21 that a good amount of people are really not adults yet. You get what I mean? I'm like I said, I think it's partially because oh, was it 18? Oh no, sorry, I got it the wrong way around. 18 in Australia. Yeah, my bad. 18. So when you turn 18 or 21, you can definitely see that a good chunk of people are still pretty much children. Immature. I feel like, because I didn't really have a lot of life experiences getting to that age. But it may also be partially because by the age, what we mentioned earlier, like the average lifespan of people, it's getting longer with medical technology and everything like that. So I guess people are in less of an urgency to grow up, less of an urgency to achieve something or do something. Thus people are more lax with growing up. There's less pressures, and thus that might result in a lot of people just not maturing as fast as they used to back in history days. Deep blue listings must be sexy anime man that calls Noira a Nesan. You totally know my job description, Kale. You got it down to the T. Believe it or not, I started mowing lawns when I was 11 and had 18 years in lawn and landscaping. That's crazy. I've semi-retired from drinking at 21. Nothing's wrong with that. Like, yes, their age got increased, but not their maturity or improved their mentality. Yeah. Wasn't in Aussie you can drink as early as 16 with the caveat that you're under parent supervision? Probably. I don't remember. I have shit memory, but I think so, yeah. Couple years from 30 and I've yet needed a reason to grow up. I can't comment on that because that's a whole thing to unpack, I feel like, depending on the person and the situation. Honestly, I feel the drinking age should be higher than 18 here. Gotta have some maturity before you start ruining life. Yeah. This is going to be a little bit dark, but I hope this provides a little bit of perspective when maybe you guys go along and have kids later, or like have to take care of nieces and nephews later on. I don't know. But like I was reading this subreddit about the subreddit was like that friend who died in your high school. How did they die? And I was actually surprised by the number of people. I think one of the top contenders for that was actually drunk driving at 17. So much of it, man. Like, it's just a lot of high school kids that died because of drunk driving, like after partying and everything. Man, something needs to be done about that. That's my first thought when I saw that whole subreddit. I'm like, that's fucked up, dude. We all know that if Gustav said Noira's name, she would melt away. I would. Gustav. Glad I stopped drinking a good year ago. Still chain smoke though. Hey, I hope that if you're looking to stop smoking, I hope you eventually make it. It's tough, man. Stopping drinking and smoking, I do think it's quite tough. There was at least one student drunk driving death every year in my rural high school. Yeah. So many young lives lost because they don't understand risks and consequences. I don't know why, but like, I guess when you're younger, you just really don't understand the concept of permanence. And I wonder if that's something that can be changed. Maybe that's why back then in history, a lot more people took age more seriously, like Alexander the Great, right? Achieving so much shit at 18. Maybe because there was this concept of permanence that haunted them. Maybe nowadays, now that you live longer, that concept doesn't really stick with the youngins. Have a house, paid off, car, job security, but mentally I'm still an inner child. I don't see the need to settle down and meet someone. Oh, if you mean settle down and meet someone, I don't feel like that's a matter of maturity. I just think it's a matter of preference. I think the general idea that having to settle down and meet someone equals maturity is just a social pressure sort of thing. Technically, it's not. Because in my definition of maturity, it's more so like emotional maturity. Like, oh, how's your EQ? How do you talk to people? How do you deal with situations? That sort of stuff. How do you deal with yourself? And how aware are you of yourself? I think that to me is the definition of maturity. I guess there are multiple definitions of maturity, but the whole settling down and etc is just a societal definition of maturity. Is that with the driver though? Always one of the passengers? Yeah, yeah, you're right, actually. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say no to that, but then you reminded me that it's true. Yeah, once handled with vehicle while being intoxicated, recipe for disaster. When was the first time you fully comprehend the permanence of death? It's not something it's something not easily grasped. Do you want to know when I first understood the permanence of death? It was, I think I was like, I'm not gonna tell you guys when that was, but I watched this show called Watership Down when I was a child. Who knows what Watership Down is? I would like to know if anyone knows of that, because apparently not a lot of people know about that, unless you're like Aussie or like from the UK. Good to hear about that, Cool Gamer. You don't know? Some people know Watership Down! Oh my god! Yeah, Watership Down is basically G3K, thank you for the follow. And also Jonathan, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Watership Down is basically, it's an animated cartoon based off of a book that's basically just the lives of rabbits, but it's there's culture, there's war, it's very complex stuff that's discussed in it. But back then, I think what happened was that people saw, oh, hand-drawn bunnies, must be for kids. So it was marketed as a kids show. So I did watch that when I was a child. And that was the first time it hit me that, oh my god, that's what death looks like? And it scared me. Yeah, because one of the bunnies died, and it was like, I don't know, it really gave me a sense of permanence. You know, the idea that death is very permanent, and it's scary. Dakotics, thank you for being 3 months of a tiling. Thank you. And Netrunner, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed your whole quarter with me, Dakotics. It's one of those things you watch accidentally and never forget. Oh, God, good to know that it's not just me. But, good morning, chat morning. Just passing by real quick. I hope you're having a great day. Oh, you too, Imperial. Have a good one. Wasn't there a scene where rabbits were ravaged by a dog? Yes. Watership Down is crazy, but Watership Down is a really good story. I even bought the book of it later. Like, I think it was, I bought it like 4 years back and I misplaced it. I need to find it. It might be at my family home. I want to read it again. Really good book. I think people get frustrated and unfulfilled as aging only because they don't notice how they're feeling their life with responsibilities. And the thing is, they're probably not ready for it. People lift such a weight that shouldn't be lifting at all at their state. That's why I'm so careful with my life choices. I always think that if I want to profit from something, I should commit myself to it, and I'm pretty aware of the consequences. But to be fair, I feel like it's not anyone's fault to be feeling that way. Like, we're just brought up in this culture where to live well, you must be rich and get a lot of money, and then you will have a sense of achievement and success, and everyone will like you, and everything will be happily ever after. We've always had that sense, on top of like the marketing of fairy tales and shit like that. Basically you gotta be rich to be successful. You gotta have money to be successful in life. So I don't think it's anyone's fault to kind of just grow up in that sort of way where you're just chasing for the bag, only to realize later that you're not getting the happiness that you expected from it once you get the bag. It's sad. I do wish that it wasn't like that, but it's an it is what it is thing, right? I don't even know if it can be changed because it's so deep-rooted in our current society, current modern times. But of course, it does depend on culture. I feel like some cultures aren't as achievement-oriented. Some cultures, a lot of parents would be more like, hey, as long as you're happy, that's what matters. Figure out what makes you happy. Versus, yo, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go make a lot of money, go be an entrepreneur, go live that hustle and grind lifestyle, and then go Wolf of Wall Street. It really depends. However, I do remember like a tidily saying yesterday that nowadays times are changing a tad bit and the pressure isn't as bad with that pressure of achievement. Do you guys think so? Hi there, Spirit Nighter. How are you? How are you? We're doing good. I'm having a drink of a wine, a nice Chianti in the glass, and we're just talking about these sort of things. Fun stuff. I don't care about being rich and famous. I care about being silly and having somebody rich and famous noticing me. like what, an Oshi? It's not even about money. It's about, ooh, should we have a kid, buy our own apartment and our own vehicle? All that shit is loan. That's just dead weight. Yeah, but that sort of thing also falls into the same tangent, I feel like. To be successful in life, to live a proper, quote-unquote, adult life, you need to have a house, you need to have a car, you need to have a family, you need to have kids. It's pretty much the same notion, if you think about it. Like, you need to be successful. To be successful, you need money. To have a happy life, you need to have a family and kids. I feel like I wouldn't say not a lot, but I guess a good amount of people don't question that. I remember watching Princess Mononoke when I was 3 or 4. that film was pretty damn violent from what I remember. Wait, was it? Is it? I don't remember it being violent. Oh wait, have I not watched Mononoke? I think I've only watched Spirited Away, and I recently watched Totoro. That was cute. I just realized I haven't really watched a lot of Ghibli's. I still need to watch Kiki's Delivery Service. With a lot of Gen Z quitting their job, I'm hoping for a better job / corporate system when I grow up. Honestly, I can't have an opinion on that. Because I don't really know how the job markets are in every single country. But I have heard that in general, getting a job is harder. But I have not read up enough as to have an opinion to why. So I can't really comment much on that, I feel like. I don't know how I feel about achievement-oriented society. On the one hand, it's a great feeling, like you've accomplished something and being honored. On the other hand, being shamed when you don't live up. But at the same time, I also feel like it's just inevitable to have an achievement what was the word you used? Achievement-oriented society. I feel like it's inevitable, you know? Because I think even if we strip everything away, like we take away the money, we take away everything, and we revert to, say, being nomads or like cavemen, I don't know. I feel like it's the people who happen upon achievement who will get better results regardless. And thus the idea will once again get perpetuated that, hey, if you're big and strong, you are successful. And you must try being big and strong. I think it's just forever a human sort of thing. Gen Z is basically ghosting social structures. If you don't, your resume just gets auto-declined by whatever company's AI model they bought off someone else. Wait, what are you guys talking about? What chat did I miss? I've always felt like fulfillment comes from hard work and earning... Wait, when you say WHT, I just thought of white mage. Is that what? Is that supposed to be what? Earning what one has. Okay. For me, it isn't about how many possessions I have, but what it took to earn them. I think that even if, for sure, society will always be achievement oriented, but then it's up to the people around you, say your family and stuff, to kind of change that sort of mindset. So I think to somewhat have an influence on that sort of POV, it's the older people who should be talking to the younger people and be like, hey, it doesn't have to be that way. So maybe talk to your nieces, your nephews, your children, and be like, look, society thinks this way. They say that achievement is everything, but no, ultimately you live and die for yourself. Make what you can most out of it. I think it's up to the older people around youngins to instill that sort of perspective. Because hey, we can only think about it this way because mostly a lot of us have gone through it and thus have questioned it. There are still a lot of people out there, even the older people, who still have not had the chance to question it because they haven't come upon the experience or the luxury to even be able to question it. By the way, guys, good vibes only. Please don't perpetuate any bad vibes or negativeness. This is a place of escapism and daydreams. Thank you. We're here for discussions. Good discussions, but still with good vibes. I think it also depends... Oh wait, I missed Mint, did I? Good morning from Traveling Live Gang. Train Wi-Fi pretty bad even though I'm in business class. Gonna VOD the rest of this later at the hotel. Oh, thank you, Mint. Thank you, Ghost of Mint. Have a good one. Stay safe. Vibes don't exist in 2025? Well, it exists here. And if you're against it, you might want to go somewhere else. Even if it doesn't exist elsewhere, I will always try to strive for it here. This model is really beautiful. Why, thank you. Permission to play Street Fighter 6? Go ahead. Why are people asking for my permission? Dread, this is a warning. Stop being weird. I ain't got no time for that. If you make another weird comment, I might have to ban you. Thoughts on ghosting? Bad no matter context. Seeing some real saying in specific situations you should ghost. Ghosting... People ghosted since ancient times, I feel like. Wait, let me think. Ghosting? In what context? I think ghosting depends on the context. Like, if someone's creepy, it's totally fine to ghost them. Dread is being so weird. I'm gonna... okay. Are you cool with getting banned? Because I'm about to ban you if you drop another weird comment. Dread on YouTube, I'm talking to you. It's not that hard to not be weird, man. But hey, I'm not judging. You go ahead, be you. Maybe we just don't match, and that's okay. Not everyone's meant for each other. I started off my adult life homeless and alcoholic. Fast forward 15 years and I'm sober with a humble home. I'm happy, don't have a desire for riches. I'm happy for you and congratulations for that. Damn, being able to survive the tough times when you're like from zero, that's crazy shit, man. That's crazy shit. I'm happy for you and you gotta be proud of yourself. Yeah, that's totally winning, man. No, don't worry, guys. I don't really get. I've been on the internet and streaming for long enough, so I can handle these sort of things. Don't worry, my mood's always nice and delightful, regardless. Even if there are people who try to bring it down, I'm old enough to be able to handle these sort of things. I've lived long enough years. Plus, I have a glass of wine in my hands. What's the worst that could happen? Gotta go now, sadly. Have a good one, Ninja. Thanks for dropping by before work. Hope you have a good time at work, Ninja. But yeah, where were we? But, achievements and everything. Right, yeah. Because for me, I was kind of brought up in a sort of environment where achievement was kind of a requirement. Yeah, I was very pressured back then when I was younger. So I went through the whole hustle mentality and it was like, oh, sleep, if I can sacrifice sleep for work, I will, sort of thing. To be ambitious and successful, you need to always be fucking tired. That sort of mentality, and it was horrible. It took me a quite good amount of time to kind of retrospect on it and realize that that wasn't what I wanted. And now you have me, the current YC Fox. If you personally want to achieve, sure, go for it. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Yeah, I mean, if that achievement is what brings you happiness to your life, then go ahead. I mean, that's totally fine. But I do feel like the problem is that a lot of people assume or have kind of been made to think that achievement is the only way to happiness, or is the one and true way to happiness, when it's not. That's where the problem lies. But hey, if someone actually finds happiness in achievement, then hey, they're having a good life then, aren't they? It's fine for some people, but not for everyone, as long as they also take care of themselves in the process. One thing I want to achieve is having my own hydroponics farms with lots of fat kitties. You can technically start your own like mini hydroponics, can't you? The ones where you use like UV lamps and stuff like that. Sounds like standard societal conditioning for sure. Personal achievements always beats societal achievements. You will never feel satisfied if someone tells you you've won. Yeah. But I also think that mayhaps society kind of is given that sort of mindset to be productive for the economy and the country at large, that sort of thing. Because, you know, GMV is a thing and productivity for a country is a thing. Yes, it's a metric. I've been extremely happy because of the things I go out and do, the food I make and the friends I've found. Oh, definitely. That does sound like that sounds great. I feel like I still need to do a lot more things because I have been jaded for the longest time. I feel like there was like this phase where I was like, okay, I'm in a shit city. I live in a shit city that I don't like, but I have no choice. And I work a kind of shitty job that I still have to work regardless. And, you know, there's nothing I can do about this and I should just like cope with it. I was in that sort of phase for a while. I'm thankful that I've gotten out of it. To be able to see that there are other options, and to be able to see that there's always other ways if you look far enough or wide enough, it really helps. It really helps that, hey, even though the job is shitty, there are, to have the perspective where it's like, okay, this is a job, but I technically can make ways to make it funner if I did this, or like there's a way for me to shift my perspective so it's funner. For example, if I like connection with people, then maybe I should talk with my colleagues more or my customers more, that sort of thing. I am not saying that name, but thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Everyone has their own demons, but don't say it because it's impossible to glamorize it. But it also shows true strength is born. Sorry to sound like a fortune cookie. You don't sound like a fortune cookie, no. Not the truest form of happiness, but I live cheaply, so happiness for me are the rare days I get to treat myself and blow money. No, but that's fair. We mentioned this yesterday. But when you're still in survival mode, definitely it's harder to think about like happiness or even like stop to consider where you're going. Being on survival mode is very tough. So I definitely, there's no judgment towards people who don't get some time to even retrospect on how they're doing if they're just too busy surviving. But hopefully, what I always hope for people who are in survival mode is that they eventually get over survival mode and they get to a point where they can actually stop to think and start improving their life and themselves. That's my hope. Cyberzak, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And Bread is alive. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And Darkotics, thank you for the gift over to Bread. Thank you. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Darkotics, thank you. Societies which are not merit-oriented or achievement-oriented usually collapse because they do not produce people which maintain the society itself. Yes. That's why it's a metric for countries, right? Productivity and GMV is a metric for countries. And some countries are happy, but have low productivity, and it's worrying according to people. I'm not going to say according to me because I have not studied enough about it to be able to say why it's worrying. But yes, definitely a certain amount of productivity is required for the survival of a country or a civilization. Then maybe it's not that we should purely banish achievement, no, but rather what's the balance? What's a good balance to strike between maintaining productivity and understanding that, okay, productivity is needed. Achievement to a certain extent is good too, but how do we balance that out with a realistic of understanding of what happiness or achieving happiness really is? Achievement is definitely needed, but most importantly, the achievement should be chased, put on a pedestal and admired, should be meaningful achievements, morally, socially, and materially. That's tough. Especially considering that people have different preferences, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's what sort of achievement do you reckon is there a single achievement that can be like all of that? An achievement that's meaningful morally, socially, and materially? Oh, that's Ikigai. That is Ikigai. For you guys who don't know what Ikigai is, hold on. Let me give you something. Hold on. I have it right here, I think. Should I pop it up? Because I did the video, I still have the Venn diagram of the Ikigai thing. Where is it? Is it this? Yeah. Hold on. Let me give it a little presentation. Ah, it's gone! I need to turn it, guys. Hold on. turn it? Wrong way. So if you look here, right? It's wonky, I'm sorry. This is the Ikigai diagram, which I call bullshit, honestly. I made a whole video about it. I've explained this before, but the TLDR is that if you find something that you love, you're good at, you're needed with and pays, that is the calling of your life. That is your reason for living. Unfortunately, it is very unrealistic. Some lucky people manage to find that very middle of the whole diagram. A lot of people don't. And when people don't, they spiral because this diagram is bullshit. But some lucky few actually manage to do so. I feel like an achievement that achieves all of that is very rare. So I feel personally that people shouldn't be restricted to achieving or finding something that needs everything. Sometimes it could be one or the other. Like, wait, let me pop the diagram again. Like if you see the love and you're good at, and then what pays and is needed. Okay, for me, what pays and is that I'm good at is my job, my day job. What I love is content creation. I don't know if it's needed. I'd like to think it's needed, but I love it. Okay, and I'm quite happy, honestly. I do think that why do I feel like I'm pretty happy and satisfied with this life? Mostly because I feel like even if I was in a fucking lone island where I could have everything in the world, I would still be living a similar lifestyle. That's how I know I'm pretty satisfied with my current life. But anyway, guys, if you see this diagram, I'm telling you guys, it's a good part of it is bullshit, because this was popularized not by the original, not according to the accurate OG philosophy. Sorry, let me read chat. My presentation is done. Thank you for coming to my TED Talks. Sorry, I'm gonna have to skim through chat. Meaningless achievements like buying Lambos and mansions are hollow. And even when I feel like people who buy expensive stuff, they're using it as a placeholder because they don't know of anything better yet. And I feel like these rich people who buy rich people things, they've never stopped to question why. They've just always assumed that it's supposed to bring them happiness because that's the only happiness form that they know. That's what I feel like. So technically they're trapped in their own thing. You get what I mean? And there's also this pressure of, okay, I'm rich and everything, and I have all these rich and expensive things. I don't deserve to be sad, so I should never even question that. I feel like that's something that could happen to these people who buy expensive things. They know that maybe it doesn't feel right, but a certain part of them also has the guilt where it's like, I should not be feeling that way. That's what I think. Kane Fire, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I'm dozing off at the table. I'm going to head off. Have a good one, Charles. Thanks for dropping by. Charles Maximus, our Lieutenant Space Marine. Are you dual streaming? Yes, I am dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I want to send so much supers that a VTuber recognizes my name and shit talks me. That's cute. That's cute. Well, nothing's stopping you, mate. Elders of the society should be motivating the youngest to chase achievements carefully so that the youngins don't burn out and do not chase stupid hollow shit like empty world. Oh yeah, nah, in that sense, defos. I think the older people kind of, I wouldn't say have a responsibility, but it would be kind of the older people to kind of just give the younger people a sort of perspective of what achievement can look like. That it's not just a one-way street towards wealth. You know, sometimes it means other things, but hey, if you want to try the wealth route, go ahead. Oh my god, I missed so much chat. I'm sorry. I need to skip all of it and just go to the very bottom. Most rich people I've met have happy families. They spend money on materialistic things because they can. Some do because it brings more comfort to their loved ones. Yeah, from another perspective, I guess, is that sometimes there's of course this perspective where, hey, if you never know what the other side is like, then you will never know what not... Wait, I can't make sense. Wait, how do I make sense of this? I'm sorry, this is the most literal way in which I can say this, but if you've only like banged one person in your life, then you would only have one standard of sex. You get what I mean? But if you have banged more than one person in your life, then you would know the difference between good sex and bad sex. That's what I'm saying. So it's the same thing with happiness, I feel like. If you never felt what it could look like outside of that, you never really know. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. That is an accurate statement. Yeah. I don't know. I always refer back to that analogy when I even talk about the same things with my friends because it's the simplest way, right? If you have only visited one house, you don't know what a house could really be. Yeah, there you go. There's a more, not less NSFW one. Whatever, man. It's the analogy I've always used my whole life. I couldn't be bothered thinking about another one, right? I recently moved into my first home I purchased. It's small and I worry about bills, but I'm disciplined and content. And we're happy for you, aren't we, tidlings? I think being able to get your first home or being able to rent your first place feels so amazing, doesn't it? The first time I moved out, I was so happy because it really feels like, oh my God, this is really different. This is a big change. Neo-Kalas. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Neo, I'm just gonna call it Neo. Neo, thank you for the sub and welcome to the Deep Blue Dear Tidling. Can we get a warm welcome, please, to our newest Tidling, Neo? Oh, you moved over from YouTube side. Oh no, you went to YouTube as well. Holy shit. One of us indeed. Thank you, Neo, for becoming a Tidling of the Deep Blue. Thank you. Y'all want to try widening it out to each other's horizon. Don't make it sus, Clarence. What the hell? Don't make it sus, dude. Eh? No. Thank you for the Prime sub on Twitch. Can we also have a warm welcome to Netrunner, please? Thank you, Netrunner, and welcome to the Deep Blue. One of us, you're officially a Tidling now. Nicholas. Okay, Nicholas. You're an official Tidling now, Nicholas. And Peter, thank you for the super chat. Super chat, arigato. Noira, have a say hello and blessings to the Sea Fox girl from my wife. Your wife? Hi, wifey. I just came back from the hospital. Tidlings, you all have a give them my best. Wife and kids are fine. Named the kid after a Roman emperor. Caesar? Is that it? Or is it something else? But hey, you spend a good time with your wifey and your kid, okay? And tell them we said hi back. That's so sweet of him. Thank you, Peter. Oh, that's so sweet and wholesome. Not Caesar. Augustus, is it Brutus? Et tu, Brutus? Now I'm curious. Is it Brutus? Tiberius? No. Nero? Damn. I don't know my Roman history, man. Chat, childlings, please have your guess. I gander that you guys are better at history than I am. I only know et tu, Brutus, and that's it. Caesar, like it's pronounced in New Vegas like Kaiser. Kaiser is a different thing, isn't it? Yeah, swine this time, Zach. Zach, hurry! Give me the name of a Roman emperor. Nero was the guy who fought the ocean and made his horse an official of some kind. Fought the ocean? Nero fought me? What? Octavius? Scaras, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And also Tidelings on Twitch. Thank you so much for starting a hype train. Thank you. You guys are so generous to me. Pontius, Caligula, I don't even know how to say that. Vespasian, Claudius, Nerva. I don't know if Peter is still here. I'm curious now. Oh, an official, not an emperor. A Roman official. I would not know. I don't think Peter is here to verify either. That's sad. How about we present a list of names later on Discord and tag Peter? Peter, you're on Discord, right? The Tidelings will compile a list of names for you to verify. And you need to tell us if the right one is there. And then we'll keep on eliminating the list until we get warmer and warmer. Noira doesn't remember when Nero had that fight. It was so long ago. Ah, yes, the words of my drunkard scribe, of our drunkard scribe. Emperor Nero legit had a war with the sea for losing his fleet. Nero ordered the sea to be whipped. Whipped? What the fuck? Yeah, nah, I would not remember. Thank you for the hype train, Tidelings. Thank you. We could just copy and paste the list from Britannica. It's already chronologically listed. No, you guys gotta be strategic with it, okay? We can't just cheat. We have to be authentic and wholesome with it. So what I'm saying is, oh shit! Why was there no notification for it? Why do I only see it now? Slime Maverick, thank you for the 25 gifted on Twitch. Thank you. Good gods. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sly. Thank you so much for your offering towards the shrine. Azaz, thank you so much for bringing in 25 new Tidelings into the Deep Blue. Noira was whipped. Noira again. I would not remember. Yeah, I also would not. Despite it mayhaps having been a good time, I would not have remembered. We have 25 new Tidelings, can you believe? That's crazy. 25 new Tidelings, the Deep Blue grows! Thank you, Sai. Every single one of you Tidelings, thank you so much for your generosity towards the Deep Blue. So many of us, we may have enough to swamp Twitch HQ. I don't think it's enough though to swamp Twitch HQ. Perhaps you were drunk during this battle. Perhaps. I don't know if I was drunk or if my memory is just shit, okay? I'm a fan of the comic character of the same name, Nero. We can take over a new fortune city and indoctrinate its citizens. Guys, we are not a cult. If you guys are new here and you hear words about this being a cult, do not listen to them. That is utterly not true. For now, at least. For legal reasons, now, it is not true. We are not a cult. We are not a cult. Stop saying we're a cult. What the fuck? We're not a cult, guys. There's nothing sus about the Deep Blue. Stop scaring the new people away, y'all. What the fuck? Damn, what the hell? I wonder if that fishing game we played before could host 25 Tidelings. It can't! So the max it can host is 12 Tidelings. Every VTuber has a fake personality. I would like to digress. It's not fake. I would like to... The way that I put it is that this is also... Wait, this might be good for you guys to know. Some people might think that VTubers, content creators, influencers, persona, and stuff, it's fake. Technically, yes, some can play into a persona. right? However, rather at the same time too, you'd know if we're playing onto a persona. But most of the times it's more of like an extension of their personality and authentic self. Because if we're talking about streaming, if you're not genuine about it, it'll show. Live streaming is a complete waste of time, then why are you here, man? I mean, it's okay if you think so, but I don't think so, and we can agree to disagree. I'm not on the internet to argue with people, after all. You can't quite fake for the amount of time you stream. Yeah, streaming is actually very candid. So, as much as you build a persona for like VTubing or streaming, there are certain things you just can't do if you're not genuine about it or authentic about it. But of course, it's very normal for like content creators, VTubers, influencers to exaggerate certain things or like put a spotlight on certain things that other people might not see in their real life for entertainment purposes. But it doesn't mean that they're not authentic about it. You get what I mean? It's more like, oh, they're showing a different side of themselves. No, we are not a cult, guys. We are the chillest. No, we're not a cult. I almost said that shit. A fake, overly high personality only works for the iPad kids. However, I have found out that some people are like actually mad hype in real life, and it scares me. You know, the type of people who just have so much energy that it's kind of intimidating? Yes, so sometimes those personalities are not fake, guys. Sometimes it's not even exaggerated. Sometimes that's just how they are. Thank you for bringing my hype train over to level 6. That's crazy. Thank you so much for your offering towards the shrine, guys. Thank you. Hey, Kane Firefist. Like I said, here we're all about escapism and daydreams. So if you're only here to bring down the vibes, I'm not for that. So this is your first warning. And if you keep on being negative, I'm gonna have to ban you. No, don't worry, I'm a merciful God. Kita-chan from Bocce the Rock? What about Kita-chan from Bocce the Rock? I'm not saying you're not allowed to have opinions. I'm only saying don't bring the vibe down. I don't really care if you have different opinions. But it takes someone wise and someone with emotional intelligence to be able to say the right things in the right time, right place, you know? Maybe you might have to work on that. I drag my friends to see everything and do everything and take a lot of pictures. Oh, that's cute! That's cute. Some people are actually more comfortable to be who they are online than they are in person. It's my goal to be a friend people can be their online. It's my goal to be a friend people can be their online personalities with me. Yeah, especially nowadays, I feel like people online and offline are very different because I think the internet, the online world is very much more normalized, meaning a lot of people have more online friends and interact online more than they do offline, the younger generations. So it's getting very much more common now for people to be a certain way online, but when you meet them offline, they're not like that. Doesn't mean it's not them, but rather they haven't. It's just what it is, I guess. I kind of envy people with zoomies. I used to have zoomies when I was younger. I used to be a zoomy little sea fox. I don't have good conversational skills, and even I know when to draw the line. It's something people need to learn. And if people have quite bad conversational skills, it's just something you can build up on. But if people say that they have bad conversational skills and they refuse to listen to other people, that's on them. I'm a god? I never said I'm a god, I guess. But even if I was, you guys wouldn't know. That's all I'm saying. Zoomies are an unstoppable force. I must jump that big gap because wind hitting face good. Ah, yes, that's true. That is so true. Kane, you are getting a little bit weird, mate. I am gonna ban you. Bye-bye. You are weird. Here, I'm gonna ban you. Ban Kane Fire Fist. He's not even saying anything that's remotely controversial. He's just weird. Ah! Minima loves tea. Thank you for the raid. Raiders, welcome. Welcome, guys. I don't know, I feel like Kane was from YouTube side too. The same guy, I feel like. Yeah, let me give you a shout out. How was stream? Raiders, welcome. I am Noira, the sea fox who sells escapism and daydreams. And what were we talking about, guys? I don't even remember what we were talking about. But we've talked about a lot of things since the start of stream. We talked about life. A lot about life. Let me give you a shout out. Wait, did I already give you? Oh, no. What were you guys talking about? Thank you for rating and sharing your community with me. Guys, please don't forget to check out Minima Loves Tea. Because, hey, they also just did a Just Chatting stream and they might be on a whole different tangent of yapping than I have been. And that's, you know, it's nice to keep your horizons open and enter new topics. Fun stuff. Who knows, maybe Minimal Loves Tea might be your cup of tea. Hold on. Yo, there's so many notifications. Hold on, yo. Let me catch up with the notifications. Thank you for the follow, Minima, Zimauni, Amnop City, and Majestic Hippo. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the Deep Blue. Thank you, thank you. And I missed something too. Peter, thank you for the super chat. Super chat, arigato. We so chill, we can talk with the mask off. Just doing escapism and daydreams. Just lay down your flesh and escape in the eternal dream of the sea fox goddess. All hail, no, wait. We're not a cult. We are not a cult. Don't scare the new people away. I'm sorry, guys, just as a disclaimer. If you see people saying that this is a cult or something like that, don't listen to them, okay? I don't know where they got that idea from. Wait, I missed so much chat. I'm sorry. I wanted to know what Minima was talking about in their stream. I missed so much chat. Yeah, what were you guys up to? Stream was good. I did so much karaoke. Oh, you did karaoke. What sort of songs did you sing? And I also yapped about pretty clothes and tea. That's such a mood, dude. That's such a mood. What's your favorite tea? As of recently, I've been finding myself drinking green tea every morning. And it's become a nice habit of mine because I haven't been able to drink coffee on an empty stomach lately. So green tea is what I resort to. And I always make genmai cha, like cold genmai cha, to store in the fridge every day. So I've been in that tea life, maybe not matcha, but I've been on that tea life. People also saying you're a cult. I go through the same thing. Holy shit, I swear it's a VTuber thing, isn't it now? Bloody hells, it's like a VTuber life cycle. If you stream long enough, you eventually just become a cult or you get cult allegations. How do you even avoid it, man? God damn, so it's not just me. Do you read much? And if so, have you read Tolkien's work? I do read a lot, but I only read non-fiction. It's weird, I know, who does that? But for some reason for me, I really like non-fiction books. So I read more of that stuff rather than fiction, unfortunately. Like recently the books I have been reading, currently I'm still reading, is Emotional Intelligence. The one that I finished prior to that was The Art of Thinking Clearly. And Sapiens I'm also still reading. And I was reading something else before that, but I can't remember. My memory is not helping me. I should drink tea more often. I got a jar of hand-picked mountain tea when I last visited Greece, and I haven't been honoring it enough. Oh my god! Yeah, you should. And when you try to brew it, be sure to follow the instructions if you can, like how the temperature that it should be at, and the brewing instructions, like how long you should let it steep, because that really affects the taste of tea. Tea is very sensitive. I like tea, but it doesn't give me the same energy to get through my day as I get sleepy easily. I get sleepy drinking coffee, so... I think Christopher Nolan made a famous quote about VTubers. Something along the lines of, you either die as an idol or live long enough to become a cult leader. I love that repurposed quote, and that is totally accurate. Yes, Christopher Nolan totally said that. Yeah, guys, if you guys want to hear talks about pretty clothes and tea, and which honestly, I can't imagine you guys not wanted to hear about, don't forget to check out Minima. It sounds like a good time. What sort of clothes are you talking about, by the way? What sort of style are you into? That sounds like such a mood. That sounds almost cottagecore and such a vibe. Oh, I want to buy The Sims 4 cottage expansion pack. That's something on my wish list. I blame Kale because Kale told me that it's a really good one. It's a good expansion pack. It has good life advice, believe it or not. Tolkien? What do you reckon is a good life advice from the Tolkien universe? Custom-made VTubers are better for marketing expressions. Wait, what are you talking about, Clarence? Why are you talking about the marketing of VTubers? I just let it boil in my teapot, toss in a cinnamon stick, and generously add honey. It's a dream. Oh, that does sound like a dream. That does sound like it. JPro Arts and Spider Punk, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Dear Blue. I think it's cool that you read non-fiction. Are you sure you're not meaning nerd? Do you mean nerd? We just got confirmation Noira is not a 60-year-old man and is indeed a woman. She plays Sims 4. Sure. No, I do reckon that a lot of men actually play Sims 4 because it's very fun building the houses and everything, you know? Imagine the architectural enthusiast and interior design enthusiast. Tolkien taught me to never pick up random jewelry unless I know the location of the nearest volcano. Yeah, because then you would suddenly have to go through an unprecedented journey and have insurmountable amounts of, is that redundant? Of responsibilities just chucked onto you. And then you're gonna have a whole ass few movies just all about you. No, wait, that was one movie. Yeah, that was one movie. It wasn't multiple movies, that was one. I think Tolkien said something about you shall not pass, and that was pretty inspiring for me. Oh yeah. And I think that's, you know, Hodor was pretty inspiring too in Game of Thrones, hey? When he said hold the door. Yeah? And Gustav. When he said, for the ones who come after. No spoilers, guys, no spoilers. God damn it. I've never played a Sims beyond building the house with hacked money. To be honest, that's like, I like when I'm like in a rut. One of my favorite things is to project my vocations and my possible future achievements into The Sims. It's the best thing ever. Like when I'm feeling shit, I really like going onto The Sims and being a successful bitch. I think it's such a fun thing to do. So, but yes, I also really love decorating the space and making the houses. But the other part is, yes, living the isekai life of a Sims. Shorty not horny. Crazy name. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Hodor changed my life. I have a 401k, a wife, a family house, and a 2025 Range Rover thanks to Oda. Tolkien showed me several meals a day, sunbathing in the fields, and a rural country home is the perfect cozy life. I think that is actually the perfect cozy life. I took a trip to New Zealand, right, a few months back. It's not particularly rural, but I also managed to stay at not the particularly... I didn't stay in metropolitans and stuff like that, at least. It was a lot of nature. And oh my God, I was like, I went there and I'm like, if I could have a choice to retire here, I would. I would love to retire in New Zealand, like in like some remote place in New Zealand, like the Southern Island. It's such a beautiful place. Funnily enough, a lot of Lord of the Rings is shot in New Zealand too. So we're still on topic here with the whole Tolkien thing. Welcome first chatter, Shorty. You should play Big Ambitions. What's Big Ambitions? Wait, is that an expansion pack or is that like a different game? I remember getting the mermaid expansion just to glitch an underwater house. Did you eventually make an underwater house, Kale? Thank you for the like. Speaking of decorating space, Noira, there's a cheap new game about customizing your work or home space for a playable avatar. I don't know the specifics though, seems 3D assets and all. Chuck it into Discord. I'm always up for like decorating spaces. Big Ambitions is basically you start as a normal person in a city but can work your way up to a multi-billionaire venture capitalist level. Holy shit. But you start with being a grocery clerk and stuff. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm actually gonna check that. It's on Steam, is it? Big Ambitions. For the days where I'm feeling shit. Okay, I'm adding that to my playlist. My corpo dreams, guys. I would like Animal Crossing. I know I would, but god fucking damn it. The game is old. But it's still like $60, dude. It's so expensive. You know, recently I bought Overcooked on Switch just so I could like drink and play Overcooked with friends at my place. And I got this package of like $19 for Overcooked 1 and 2. That's a good deal. That is a good deal. That's why I bought it. But Animal Crossing, $60 after how many years? I thought that's the one reason I have not bought it. It's just crazy. You know in Overcooked 2, you can throw stuff? I just kept on doing that to my friends, just throwing ingredients at them. It's so fun. My long-term dream is to either live by the seaside and fish some fresh fish, or live on the mountains and plant some fresh tomatoes. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's dreams for a life, right? Because it's very different from what they have now. And it does sound super peaceful, doesn't it? To be away from the hustles and bustles of metropolitan and corpo adult people sort of lifestyle. Because, well, what people do around you, the environment around you and everything does affect you as a person. The people you surround yourself with, it affects you. The energy you get when you walk around in the city when everyone's like busy about to rush to work, that affects you. So definitely, I do think that if you lived rurally, it can provide you with more peace in general. Sorry, I'm gonna skip down to the most bottom chat because I missed a lot of chat. It's weird, our parents moved from rural area to the city, now it's vice versa. I mean, it's also human nature to think like, grass is greener on the other side. Or maybe a lot of people actually move from rural to cities for a job and like better earnings in general. I think that's the one reason people usually do that. But I do also have a friend who prefer cities and metropolitans compared to nature. I think I would prefer nature. Not nature, but like rural, yeah. Where I can still have internet, I can still stream because I really like streaming. And I can still build a community but also I can enjoy the green and the seas and all of that. I think that'd be nice. Like, I think a lot of big celebrities, one of the first things they do when they get successful is get some villa at a rural place somewhere that they can run off to when they're stressed. At least that's what I have observed from the limited celebrity news that I consume, okay? Like Avicii had one. Avicii had this place in the middle of, I can't remember where, but like very far off, where people can't contact him and stuff when he wants to get inspired. So he just spends time there, and then he just worked on his music. Staying in the city if I can. I'm living in rural area now, and there's nothing, no fun transport infrastructure, nothing. Yeah, I do think that if it has nothing, I wouldn't enjoy it either, but I wonder if it's actually an option to have a nice balance, you know? But everyone's standards is different. For me, I think infrastructure is nice, for example, and I don't know, places to go out to and stuff like that. It really depends. I haven't really built a picture in my head of what I want a rural area I move to look like. But I think what's for sure is that if I do move cities in the future, I want to be in a walkable city at least. And that's of close distance to accessible nature. At least that. Sun Moon Yash, and Fading Spades, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome. Have a good one, Spirit Nighter. Thanks for dropping by. I'd love to go out into nature, fuck food, guarantee Wi-Fi, have good food places nearby, and have people to chat with. Yeah. I think that was one of the most beautiful things about New Zealand, Southern Island, near Queenstown. The living prices are crazy though, but at Queenstown, basically you're surrounded by mountains. It's very beautiful. And there's a lot of, I wouldn't say there's infrastructure, like you have to drive everywhere. Well, there are buses, but mostly it's still preferred you drive everywhere. But there's still a lot of stuff going on. Like there are places to go out to, like bars and stuff like that if you want to, close by. And then you could still you have access to lakes and mountains and like parks and trails and tracks. There's a lot of nature stuff around you. That's why I was like, man, if I were to retire one day and I could retire to New Zealand, I maybe would. Around Queenstown specifically, maybe Frankton. Yeah. What wisdom do you have around connecting and integrating when it comes to new people meeting at pre-existing groups, rather than as individuals joining in? New people meeting as pre-existing groups. As in, do you mean that you're the only person who doesn't know everyone else? Is that what you mean, Dante? I'm from a rural place in States, Texas to get exact. We call it the country out of here. I don't think I have like a good image of what rural Texas looks like, so I can't really make a comment about that. Hi there, Kurt. Thanks for being here, Kurt. I wonder if New Zealand still has high demand for ranch hands. Probably. Check it. Oh no, guys. There's a crisis. I'm about to run out of wine. So according to the book that I'm reading, when you're trying to assimilate into a group of people who already know each other, like a group of say 5 people, and you're the outlier, like you're the new person in there. Apparently, according to the book Emotional Intelligence and according to studies, the best way to do so is to first observe. Observe what they do and what they're doing, and don't just immediately jump in without context. You need to understand what's going on, the culture of the group, and you need to understand the context, and you shouldn't intervene or interrupt. It should be more like, hey, what are you guys, so when you join in, it's like, hey, what are you guys up to? And they tell you, Don't go like, oh, I usually do it my way. Can we do it this way? Don't do that. Instead, you should be like, oh, asking the right questions to learn more about the group and their activity. And then slowly you be like, hey, is it cool if I give it a shot? You ask their permission. That's usually, according to studies, the better way to assimilate into a group. Basically respect their pre-existing connection and culture before you try to attempt to get the permission to join in. Don't force yourself in, and don't bring your own rules in. You need to humble yourself in that sort of situation. Thalison. Thalison. Is that how I say it? Thalison. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Wait, what did I miss? She's about to run out of wine. This may be the end of this timeline. It was nice knowing you all. Jeez. I technically still have wine in the fridge, but I don't know if I want to get another one. I don't want to accidentally... No, maybe I shouldn't. I'll drink some more water before I think of getting one. Challenge their leader? What, are you trying to take over the group? Is that what you're doing? What just happened? God, thank you for the 5 gifted on Twitch. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. What if I'm naturally the more dominating type? You still have to humble yourself. Even if you are the more dominating type, the right EQ move is to be able to take it into nuance and humble yourself for this sort of situation. That's how it is, apparently. Thank you, Kurt, for bringing 5 new titlings into the Deep Blue. 5 new titlings, thank you. What if you want to recruit them for the cult? What cult? Recruit who to what cult? What time is it over here? You're drinking wine, it's only 12 p.m. Oh, it's like almost 11 p.m. here. I'm on the other side of the world to you guys, remember? No cult. But thank you for the 5 new titlings, and thank you for your offering towards the shrine, Kurt. Thank you for your generosity. As a Giga Chad alpha male, you should beat up their leader and T-pose to show dominance. Oh yeah, and don't forget to teabag them. There was, if you guys watched the new Love, Death and Robots, there was this one episode about aliens invading Earth, and it was like all miniatures. It's so funny. Please watch it. It's to the whole beat the leader up, T-pose, show dominance, and teabagging. It's so relevant to that particular episode. It's such a funny episode of it. Nicholas, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Excuse me? Thank you for becoming a titling on YouTube. Can we get a warm welcome to our newest titling on YouTube side, please? To Nicholas. Dang, Nicholas, thank you. Literally, Nicholas is dual wielding right now. So can we get a one of us for Nicholas again, please? And GT Cal, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. By the way, for you guys who are new here, if I may reintroduce myself, I am Noira, the sea fox who sells escapism and daydreams. Here, we talk a lot about life. I like entertaining questions about life in general. And even better if I have it over a drink. Well, right now I'm drinking Chianti, red wine. Usually other times I drink whiskey. Welcome. So if we start talking about life and start getting a slight bit philosophical and shit, you will just have to go with the flow. Ride the wave, would you? Does it come with a cape for cult stuff? There is no cult and there is no cape for cult stuff, excuse me. I wish it was evening here so I could have some wine. It's okay, I'll have some wine for you. Unfortunate that time zones is a thing, isn't it? But hey, if time zones weren't a thing, I don't even know if you guys would end up watching me, right? Because I know a lot of you guys watch me either at work or before work, right? So maybe if I streamed at night, the usual US times and everything, you guys might never find it. Might never have found me. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Should I put the... There are no cult supplies. Von de Lua, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. By the way, if you guys haven't already, and you guys want to join in the Tideling shenanigans, hang out with the other Tidelings, and also have thoughtful talks. And we also have a dedicated space to share some cool things that happened in your day, like the wins and the positive and the good vibes that happened in your day. Like, hey, today I had great coffee. Today I met a new friend. If you want to share those sort of things, you can do so over on the Deep Blue Discord. Let me actually link it here on Twitch side. On YouTube, I think you would have to... Let me check. If I do ! Discord on YouTube, does it show? It does not. On YouTube, the Discord is... Oh wait, it shows! Yeah. Come join in the Discord if you guys haven't, eh? If you guys would like to hang out with the other Tidelings and be a wholesome bunch with us all. Have a good one, Peter. Have a good one. And tell your wife and kid that we said hi. Welcome back, Cross9S. A cult denier, cult leader? How does that even work? That's like a double... That's a positive and a negative. What is that? I'm out of wine, fuck. I need some tidelings to go fetch me some grapes from the vineyards and start crushing them grapes with their bare feet. Manual labor shit. Let me drink some water. Tom Loha, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. She learned from the failed cult leaders. Can't let people know the cult is there. Never ends well. Seriously, how do I get myself out of this cult mess? I'm lost. How did the cult stuff talk? Is this just an inside joke? That's what I'm saying. We're not a cult. I don't know. It just happened one day and then it never ended. So I'm sorry. And I hope it doesn't scare anyone off. We're not a cult, guys. We're not a cult. Scarling. Super chat to. Arigato. You're having noodles for lunch. What sort of noodles, Scarling? Thanks for dropping by for lunch. It's always nice to see you over lunch. We're not a cult, guys. We may have some cult allegations and there are rumors of us being a cult. And I may have a shrine, but it's not particularly for me, no. But hey, according to observations and testimonials of our patrons at the Deep Blue, our customers, if you put stuff on the shrine, especially if you put like whiskey, Chianti, red wine, dark beer, or like figurines of very hot 2D anime men, good things might happen to you. Like suddenly your gacha pool is SSR, or like suddenly your job interview goes really well, or maybe you might meet a new crush. Just saying. I'm not saying there are like some godly powers to it, but these are just things that have happened. It's an observation. There was another... Oh, is there an Aura Redeem? Oh, shit. Actually, have I been ignoring Aura Redeems? I have! I'm so sorry! Let me refund one of them. And I'll do the other ones. My bad. Hold on. Happy? God fucking damn it. As much as I have an Aura Redeem, I still cringe somewhat every time I do it, unfortunately. So you guys will just have to, you know, deal with it. My cringe and my swearing every time I do that. The cringe, tell me about it. But hey, I'm a VTuber after all. I still gotta at least retain some VTuber things, right? the one thing that I retain to keep me as a VTuber in a VTuber culture. I can give Noira offerings of hot anime men and I get love luck. Do you guys want to know? So like, apparently if you give me red wine or like Chianti, that's for the matters of the heart. So if you want to find maybe the chances of a new crush, then give me, not give me, sorry, put it on the shrine. You put red wine on the shrine. If you want stuff related to your general life, no wait, your general career, then you put whiskey on that shit. And then, I can't remember, what does dark beer do? What does dark beer do? Let me open my own website. I don't remember. What the fuck? Hold on. Dark beer is for general good fortune, guys. So, red wine is for the heart. Whiskey is for career. Dark beer is for general good fortune. And then for gacha luck, you can give me, well, either dark beer or any of them, or like 2D anime men. Thank you very much. What did I miss? I've tried Champloo, Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, and that Cyberpunk Netflix show, and she was like, nah. What do you mean? Those are all great shows. Are you trying to convince someone with those shows? I have heard that one of the best way to convince a normie of anime is to get them to watch Attack on Titan. At least, I know that at least a lot of my normie friends have gotten converted into animes via Attack on Titan. I don't know how that makes sense, but it happens. Scarling, thank you for your offering towards a shrine. Supichato, arigato. Sounds like cult offerings. What if I leave noodles? I don't know. What if you leave noodles? Longevity, maybe, for good health. Like, you know how noodles are long? Yeah, maybe good health, longevity and health. Yeah, I don't know how, but it's a thing I have observed within my own friend group. And yeah, it's a lot of people's like first experience into anime. Or like Kimi no Na wa, sure, that makes sense too. It's really funny because the big difference between Attack on Titan and other anime isn't the plot or characters. It's that they frame the scenes like cinema. Oh, really? Because if I think of like anime where they frame scenes like cinema, I would have thought of Chainsaw Man rather than Attack on Titan, I feel like. Hunter x Hunter. I never really got into Hunter x Hunter, so I wouldn't know. But I do remember my friends going crazy over Gon and Killua. Yeah. My brother was a huge Hunter x Hunter fan. Oh yeah, Death Note. Yes, Death Note is also a very good conversion tool, yes. Chainsaw Man is another one normies like. I really like animes that use cinematography compositions. Do you guys have any other like very cinematic composition animes? I feel like I've seen a few, but the most notable one I've seen is definitely Chainsaw Man. Yeah. I can't remember other ones for some reason. I remember I recently watched one that was pretty good and it's on Netflix, but I can't remember what it was. Berserk. I watched the Golden Age Berserk series. That was really good. Mikoyan, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome. The new Cowboy Bebop. There's a new Cowboy Bebop? Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is good, but I don't know if it's like something that normies would want to try out. Slice of Life? Oh yeah, Slice of Life anime usually has really good aesthetics. Kengan Ashura? Kengan Ashura is peak, yo! But it's not like... Okay, I think Kengan Ashura would be great for normies who like martial arts. But from a cinematic POV, not so much, I think so. Nah, yeah, not so much. Cinematography-wise, it's not the best. But oh my god, the action is so good. Lazarus is a new anime by... Oh, the Lazarus! I've heard about it. Have you guys watched it? And how is it? Also, season 3 of Fire Force is pretty fucking good. I I mean, I remember when the trailer came out, a lot of people had their apprehensions about it because it didn't seem as good as the first and second seasons. But it's pretty fucking good, man. To Be Hero X, I have watched To Be Hero X too. To Be Hero X, guys, by the way, is a Chinese anime. It's really good. Like, the art style is fucking crazy. But the one reason I stopped watching it was because there was this one episode where the guy of the episode was just very, very, very miserable and sad and never did anything about himself. And I couldn't stand watching it. Like, you know, look, back then, let me give you guys some perspective, okay? Like, back then, oh, Windbreaker is peak. Back then, I used to really like watching shoujo animes and reading shoujo animes where the girl is always like, oh, damsel in distress, I'm so scared of doing anything, I'm so flustered over everything, that sort of shit, right? I used to really enjoy that. Nowadays, I can't stand that shit. I don't know why. It's regardless of gender too. Like, I just can't stand that sort of trope of, oh my god, I'm so helpless, I'm like miserable, I'm so sad, there's no way I can do anything, I just fucking suck, and I won't even bother trying. I just cannot. I'm not sure why, but I just can't. I used to enjoy animes that left you completely hopeless and ended awfully. That's some masochistic shit, dude. We've aged past these tropes. I mean, do you guys feel the same way? My Hero Academia Vigilante is pretty good. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. The style of My Hero Academia Vigilante is really nice too. What's a good slice of life anime for a normie that doesn't like action genre? Maybe Bocce the Rock? K-On! Was pretty cute. Slice of life. Oh my god! Campfire cooking. Campfire cooking is so good. It's one of my favorite animes. Please watch that. It is so wholesome. It's really good. You need to check Campfire Cooking. And the second season is coming out, I think, October 2025. Made in Abyss is also pretty cinematic. I haven't watched that. Maybe I should check it out. I've been watching Apothecary Diaries. Oh yeah, Apothecary Diaries is pretty cool. Oh, Kowloon Generic Romance. That's also a very cinematic one. The composition of Kowloon Generic Romance is really good, and the way that they portray nostalgia is really nice. Yeah, you're right. That's one that that I have only watched, I think, the first or second episode. I haven't watched it again. Oh, and another one is Bartender, God of Camino Glass, God of Glass Bartender. That's also really good. It's a lot of vibes too. I think it's, yeah, it's slice of life. That one's good too. Camino Glass. Yeah. I haven't been watching anime for a while, but Kowloon interests me. Yeah, Kowloon is a lot of like aesthetic Hong Kong nostalgia sort of vibes. It's very pretty anime. We need a channel in Discord for titlers to submit show suggestions. Maybe. Or you could just chuck it at the bar. You know I read everything. But like generally I don't really have much time outside of like outside of streaming. I don't really have much time to watch stuff. That's why a lot of the times I drop shows midway, or like I only catch up with it later on. Especially lately, I feel like my lifestyle has been getting a little bit more busy, meaning I'm mostly working on content stuff behind the scenes when I do have some little bit of time off, rather than watching shows. Either that or I'm reading a book. I think it's mostly because a few weeks back I spent too much idle time watching stuff. Oh yeah, that time when I was sick for a whole fucking week, all I did was watch TV. So I kind of, I guess, got sick of it. And I ended up like not watching much after that. A Silent Voice is my favorite anime movie. I haven't watched that. I haven't read manga either for the longest time. Amama to inazuma, sweetness and lightning it is so cute and wholesome. Give perspective on single fatherhood. Is it like on any streaming service? I have seen Blue Eye Samurai. That one's really good and cinematic too. Yeah, that one was really pretty, very cinematic. I'd have to agree. I love beautiful anime with amazing composition. I think that's my favorite. Like Chainsaw Man, I loved Chainsaw Man. I know a lot of people bagged on Chainsaw Man because of the style, and it seemed quite unsaturated and dark compared to vibrant animes, the usual vibrant anime styles, but I loved it and the composition that they had. I'm a very visual person, okay? So I love these sorts of things. Only just started watching and reading stuff again, forgot about how much I enjoyed it all. That's good to hear. But I do think like watching and reading stuff, that when you, at least for me, when you do it for too much and too long within a single session, it kind of fucks you up. Like, you know how doom scrolling fucks you up? I feel like watching and reading manga or watching TV shows or anime can do the same thing. TLDR, doing something entertaining for prolonged periods of time can end up backfiring. The Way of House Husband is peak. Ah, yes, it is peak. Goku Shufudo, right? The live action is pretty good too, actually. Most anime is probably on Crunchyroll. I can't watch on Crunchyroll because region lock, so mostly I only catch my stuff on Netflix. Yeah, mostly Netflix for anime. Cooking one, Sweetness and Lightning. Live action plot gave me whiplash. Yeah, Goku Shufudo is a good one. So max 1 hour or stream watching. I don't know what the max is, but I think I'm still okay. Maybe the max for me is perhaps like watching from my own personal observations, watching something. If it starts going past like 4 hours, it fucks me over. I feel like dopamine wise, if that makes sense. Like it gets me really lazy to do other things that is good for me. Like be it go to the gym or do my chores or do the work that I'm supposed to do. Yeah, after like anything closing towards 4 hours or after 4 hours, it gives me an iffy feeling. Molly, you can't just say that. Damn. And I can't endorse such things publicly, you know that. Damn, I'm just gonna say no comment on that shit. Sheesh. He just blatantly said that out loud. Intrusive thoughts got the better of them. Oh, I was watching this earlier. I don't know what the name of it is, but basically the premise of the anime is this salaryman got a burb at the pet shop, and then the burb happens to be an amazing mage, and then the salaryman gets isekai'd. The bird is very cute. I don't know what the name of that anime is, but 3D Sun has been watching it and it's pretty cute. Do you guys know what that is? I think it's a recent thing on Netflix. Sasaki and Peeps, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. It's a very cute anime, very wholesome, very cute. Cute stuff. Zelkron, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Nowadays, I've been like finding much enjoyment outside of electronic media and digital entertainment. Oh my god, I sound... What the fuck were like... What were those choices of vocabularies, Noira? Like I've been going out and playing padel. I think that's how the right way you pronounce it. Padel with my friends, and I am going on a whole ass jog this Sunday with my friends from 6 a.m. A morning jog with my friends at 6 a.m. on Sunday. And that's gonna last a while, and then we're gonna go hang out and everything. I think as of lately, I've been mostly enjoying other means of entertainment that does not involve electronic media, and it feels great. I got lost in the sauce with that one. A whole ass jog. Yes, a whole ass jog. Why do I say a whole ass jog? Because it's lasting from like 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. That's a whole ass jog. That's like 3 fucking hours. So I've been trying to, I think, explore or like be less skeptical of the ways in which I can enjoy life by trying to try out more activities that does not involve electronic media. Next week, also, most Aussies content creators I know are active people, huh? I'm not particularly Aussie. I'm actually technically Southeast Asian. But I'm also... There's this thing called Time Left, guys. I'm not even sponsored, but I keep on mentioning this app because I think it's pretty cool. You know how the death of third places is a thing? Do you guys know what that is? Third places? Do you guys know the phenomenon of the death of third places? Let me grab a Google definition of it. Meaning of third places. Third places are locations that facilitate social interaction outside of the people you work or live with and encourage public relaxation. That's what third places are. Vinyl stores back then were third places because when you would browse for vinyls, you would get a chance to talk with people, be it the store clerk or like when you meet someone new and you ask them for recommendations of new types of music. Or like blockbusters, they were also third places because when you would pick out movies, sometimes you might bump into people and have some casual conversation. Other third places, there's a lot basically, but with our current era of convenience and much more online convenient and like you can get everything at your doorstep, we have less reasons to go out. And we have less reasons to interact with people because you can get food delivered to your door. You don't even have to talk at all other than typing or texting to the delivery driver. If anything, the current lifestyle kind of promotes less interaction in a way and less physical contact. And also the disappearances of third places. So... I've been seeing that there's currently a trend of, I think, I wouldn't say just apps, but like groups of people who are trying to bring third places back by hosting events and like having dedicated apps for them and hosting meetups. And I am trying one of those apps next week. It's called Time Left, and also if you guys are interested in this, they actually have it like all around the world. I'm saying this because the loss of third places is real, and I don't care if I'm not sponsored or anything because I think some of us could use this. It's basically an app that kind of sets you up for dinner with a bunch of strangers, and they try to match you according to your personality. So the app books a place for dinner for y'alls, and then you guys just go there and they have like, I think they plan games and icebreakers for you guys, and you just get to, it's a chance to meet a bunch of strangers, and then after that you can go for drinks. It's a way to meet more people. But yeah, I'm trying that out next week. That's why if you notice, like on Wednesday I'm like I haven't told you guys, but like I won't be streaming next week on Wednesday. It's because I'm going out for that. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying out new things, guys. Because I made a video about getting more jaded and more skeptical as we grow older, it's kind of spurred me on to actually be more receptive and open to new things. Really, the only third places that exist nowadays are religion places and academia. Yes, I agree. Religious places like churches and stuff like that are definitely you will know, like, those are more significant third places that still exist. You will know because I don't know about you guys, but like my friends, when they're single, they want to meet someone, when they want to try meeting someone, the first thing they try for is to go to a church. It's a consistent thing. I noticed with my group of friends, at least, or the people I meet. Platonic group Tinder, yeah, it is a platonic group Tinder, though I do doubt that everyone is in it for platonic reasons. I do reckon that, sure, someone is probably in there to find a partner regardless. But yes, the general objective of the app is to make new friends and not hookups. I go to language exchange meetups for that. They are pretty fun. Yeah, language exchange is another way to do it too. And also, I do believe there are websites like meetup.com that kind of can give you a rundown of meetups that are happening around you. That can, I think these things are helping replacing, I wouldn't say fully replace, but they're helping for substitutes for the losses of third places. Take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the sun and night. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. I forgot the lyrics. Offer me the deathless death, good God, let me give you my life. I'm sorry, every time I see Take Me to Church, I just think of that song. I can also recommend checking with your local bookstores, local charitable organizations, even places like, oh, I missed that chat. Places like the tattoo parlor across the street from me. I have held social events. Oh yeah, for sure. Because honestly, guys, for real, it is a real thing that we're losing third places and we're having less and less opportunities to meet people. So loneliness is not just, oh, actually, I made a whole video about it. If you guys look up my video on YouTube called The Loneliness Epidemic, which I found that did not mean what I wanted it to mean. I found out that the loneliness epidemic is very popular among the male demographic for a totally different reason. But anyway, my goal for that video was actually to bring up that issue that in our current modern society of hyperconvenience, it kind of promotes a lifestyle that doesn't really encourage you to interact with people. If anything, it discourages you from interacting with people and meeting new people. So is it any wonder that loneliness is really a thing we're dealing with right now in our modern age? So bringing that issue up, that's why I'm telling you guys that, hey, here are some ways you can mediate that. And one of them is by going to meetups or like picking up a hobby that requires you to meet people, like dance classes, for example. Street dance particularly, I would say, can bring big communities together. But yeah, dance classes in general and even yoga classes, you know, these sort of things. Oh my god, wait. Jason! Thank you for the subs gifted. Gifted up. Arigato. Thank you for your offerings towards the shrine and gifting to Kale and Red Samurai. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity towards the deep blue, Jason. Loneliness epidemic is where I first saw you, Noira. Oh shit, really? Man, I think a lot of people in that video for some reason misinterpreted me as talking about the loneliness epidemic that's very popular amongst the male demographic. So I got a lot of flack for that. Well, not flack, but like I got a lot of questionable comments on YouTube because of that. And I was confused until I realized what was going on. But I did not want to change it because it doesn't change. I think it's still an issue regardless of what's happening with the male demographic. Or supposed male demographic, I don't know. The issue that's supposedly happening with the male demographic. I can't say much about it because I don't know too much about it. Thus, I can't have an opinion about it. Or I refuse to have an opinion about it. Wait, let me read chat. Sometimes the local diecast community did an event at numerous cafe and mall, and personally I felt like it's a third place. And that's good! You should join those sort of things. I live in a mid-sized town that does some social events. Like festivals, derbies alike, they're good. Yeah, they are good. Community events are really nice. I think, like if you have like neighborhood activities, they're really good too. Male loneliness is people focus on guys not getting partners, but it's more than that. Men are having less and less friends. Me personally, I can't say I have a single best friend. But the thing is, like, I feel like it's not just persistent with the male demographic. Like I mentioned, the whole loneliness epidemic is actually just a persistent thing that's happening in modern society. Now, the male epidemic, loneliness epidemic that is so popular, I don't really know the details of that. But would it be right to assume that a good chunk of it is still because of the core issue that, hey, there's a global loneliness issue because, hey, we're losing third places and we're not really meeting people and talking to people anymore? I have been thinking of getting back into aviation. What's stopping you then, Sai? You're right, the male loneliness epidemic is kind of politically charged, though it has some truth to it. Yeah, the thing is, I don't remember the details of it and I've never really looked into it. So I feel like I can't make a good opinion about it. However, what I can say about the culture, the societal pressures, and the sort of expectations that the male demographic can grow up with in a lot of cultures, it's a lot of pressure and it can fuck a lot of people up. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of expectations for achievement, and it can fuck any person up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I can say. For females, I think it's a different thing. Because it's an undeniable thing that, of course, females and males, they're growing up with whatever cultures we have experienced, or with certain cultures we have experienced. Sometimes with some cultures and families, they treat you differently. And that can affect how a person grows up, for sure. That's, I think, the extent that I want to talk about it. That's as much as to the extent that I want to talk about it. Because other than that, if I go further, I feel like it might get political. I'm just saying that the way a person grows up because of their gender, it can determine how the person becomes later in life. And that has its own set of consequences. Don't be weird, Mikoyan, if you keep on doing that. This is your second warning. If you do that one more time, like that, I'm gonna have to ban you. Look, I'm okay with, like, if you put me up on R34 and shit like that, or like make NSFW of me, but like don't say that shit in my face like that. That's weird. Well, while we do have decrease in third places, people's willingness in participating in those places also need to be considered. Me personally, I never have the courage to go to such place even if I want to. I hope you eventually do build the courage too. I hope so. It's not easy for sure, I can assure you of that. Meeting strangers can be scary, especially if you've had previous bad experience with it. But I hope that one day it might work out for you. I think adding male to it is making it too specific. People in general are just more isolated and more people lock up on the subsets too much. Yeah, that's what I also argued when people started commenting about the male loneliness epidemic on my video. I was like, why does it have to be a gender thing? I mean, it's a real thing that's happening to everyone in the world, not just males. Why does it have to be a gender thing? But then I realized that when I did talk to them and reply to some of the comments, that it was a much deeper issue that was kind of not related to the things that I was talking about. It was rather related to what I mentioned just now, like how males and females are brought up differently, and that can lead to different expectations and fuck people over later in life. It's more towards that. If you guys want to know more about it, I think HOE_math on YouTube talks quite a decent amount of that in a very objective sort of way, and then also a very technical and interesting sort of way. I like reading and finding out about these sort of things because it sparks my curiosity. The owl is the Owlzen of Dread. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Owl. I'm gonna just call you Owl. Is that okay? I'm always lonely, always had been is the exact reason why I'm here in the first place. I don't know why you're lonely, but I'ma just say, and I always say this because according to research and studies, the brain is good at perpetuating stuff. If you are positive, then the brain is good at perpetuating positive thoughts. If you are negative, same thing goes. So what I'm saying is that if you are willing to make a change and stick with it, it could change things. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna judge because I don't know what you've gone through and what you've experienced, so I can't say much about it. I can only state studies. I'm such a fucking nerd. But I think that's a more neutral way to talk about it, I guess. Kurt, super chatter, arigato. Thank you for your super chat and offering towards a shrine. Have a hug for some courage, Firework. You can do it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, courage. For courage. Yeah, guys, remember that sometimes first is, yes, the brain is good at perpetuating stuff. Second one is that sometimes you just gotta stop thinking about whether a thought is good or not for you. Rather, whether a thought is good or not. It's like, oh, if I think that I am this way, that's really negative and I shouldn't be thinking this way. No, rather you should be thinking in terms of whether it's useful for you or not. If you keep on thinking, for example, this is a very extreme example, but if you keep on thinking yourself as miserable, start maybe questioning yourself. Is that a useful thought or not? But like I said, this is a very blanket statement because traumas exist and that shit is an emotional hijack, meaning it's much harder said. It's easier said than done, depending on people's experiences. But hey, whatever you guys are going through, if you guys feel lonely, if you guys feel shit and stuff like that, I hope you guys eventually get through it. Life's tough, but I think at least what we're in control with is ourselves. So hopefully that means something. I miss chat. I was yapping. Personally, while he does look at it objectively, horror math is meant for entertainment purposes. He doesn't cite his sources, so do take his word with salt. Oh yeah, definitely. But I do find his way of thinking very interesting, and it does make sense to a certain extent. But yes, as always, when people don't have sources, you should have the rights to question it. Same with the shit I say. Sometimes I say stuff that's purely based on my personal observations and opinions, but when I do have my sources, I do cite them. But I would always encourage you guys to do your own research, and I would always try to as much as my ability to differentiate between what is my personal opinion versus what is a fact. One of the amazing things is that we have neuroplasticity. Just remember that repeated thoughts have their own pathways that take time before they decay. Yeah! And yes, it was from my Substack. Sometimes you need to get out of your head and be less self-aware. Yes, that too. I guess in that sort of sense. A quote from The Sandlot. Man, this is baseball. You gotta stop thinking. Just have fun. If you were having fun, you would have caught that ball. Yeah. Is there a clip? Because that's something a lot of people need to hear. I don't think that I activated the exclamation mark clip command, but you can clip normally. I think you can press the clip button. Maybe I should stop dual streaming. Nicholas, just stay on one side, your preferred platform. I also grew up way too early from bullying, so I took it as a lesson on to not repeat it. Yeah, that's what I said. If it's like bullying and everything like that, it's definitely trauma, right? That's why I can't force these sort of thoughts to people. Take it at your own pace. I can only state what are the facts and what are the directions you can go in. But hey, take it at your own pace, hey? That shit's tough. I can't press the clip button. That requires effort. You know, I have a video for that. Do you want? I have a video for troubleshooting your procrastination. At this point, why does it sound like I have a video for everything? Honestly, seriously, some people have come up to me, have like DM'd me sometimes asking for advice, mostly about life, right? They'd be like, hey, I have this happening to me. How should I think about it? And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'd be like, if you want to like maybe have a bit more perspective on it, like I tell them what I think. I sometimes give them my video. And sometimes I feel like, should I feel bad about this? Why do I feel like I'm some... It feels very weird. But I mean, how else am I supposed to do it? I mean, if... Because every time I explain something, I always try to explain something in the most simple way possible. And the most shortest way possible. Because I don't want to waste people's times. Thus... I'd be like, okay, if you want like further reading, here, have a resource. And that resource nowadays is like, okay, watch my video. Cobbled Knight, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome back, cheese. If it works, it works. Yeah, sliding your business card with a wink and eyebrow wiggle. Not gonna lie, it's kind of cringe. But, I mean, I can debate that it's efficient that way, but yes, it's kind of cringe sliding in my own videos. I wish I didn't have to, but like it's a quick TLDR, simple way to explain it, right? I don't even mind if they don't want to watch it. I don't even think of it as like a promotional thing, but rather it's like, hey, this is further reading if you want to understand what I mean more. Noira's videos are like a Swiss Army knife. She has a video for that thing you need. Not always, I feel like. Not always. I think it feels like a lot of my videos are relevant because I talk about life in general, hey? And it just so happens that I think you guys happen to be able to relate to the things that I talk about. Maybe you guys just happen to be in the right age demographic. What was it? 25 plus? Am I right? Are you down in the dumps? Does your life suck? Get your advice from an anime girl. I'm sorry, that was so cringe. I'm so sorry. I have an age that is that demographic, yes. That means my prediction is quite correct. You have an age, yes, I know you have an age. Join, no cult, premium chatter, no cult. And hello, Willie on YouTube side. No cult. Join our community today? That's crazy. But even so, guys, remember, whenever I say something, I also always say, take it with a grain of salt, do your own research. Even with the Ikigai thing that I said. Always take it with a grain of salt, even if I have my own resources. You guys should do your own research. Just like with everything in life. Critical thinking, am I right? It's a clan, we've been over this. I don't even know about it being a clan, dude. We're just a wholesome community, that's what it is, isn't it? Take it with a shot of seawater, you'll fucking die. We're not a cult, Grux. Oh my god, who told Grux that this is a cult? I'm gonna blame you guys, jeez. Clan Noira, are we like... we sound like ninjas now. A clan. Shot of seawater coming up. That's an easy way to just have too much salt saturation in your blood. Damn. Do not shot seawater, guys. Do not drink seawater. We are a dubiously purposed organization. No? Stop labeling us, okay? We're just wholesome, okay? Stop labeling titlings and the Deep Blue. We're just wholesome. That's what it is, right? I mean, look at the wide array of topics we've talked about since the start of the stream until now. I don't even recall every topic that we talked about. What have we talked about, guys? Do we have a titling with a very good memory who can kind of TLDR what we have talked about so far? Although I am very curious as to why we have quite some bad actors today. Like the fact that I almost had to pull out 2 bans today. That almost never happens. What's happening? And it's not even people like being mad toxic. It's just people being weirdly negative and just weird. Full stop. Seawater is for waterboarding and sailing on our perhaps fish housing. Waterboarding, yes. Seawater is for waterboarding. I agree. It's definitely been an interesting stream today. That's the least I can hope for. I hope for the fact that you guys find my streams interesting and have a good time here at the Deep Blue. And have a good escapism. Cult anime, alcohol, jobs, Sims. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Technically, you're not wrong. Is it summer break yet? When is summer break? Loneliness too. We talked about loneliness. Ah, yes, loneliness and maturity and the loss of third spaces. Feels Blair Man. Blair Man, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. How it might not reflect one's maturity. Oh yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff now, hey? Like today? Holy shit. Yes, like the CIA interrogation waterboarding. I learned about how waterboarding with salt water or saline water is good via a non-fiction book I read by Malcolm Gladwell. That's where I got it from, guys. It's not that I have some weird kink, okay? Is the echo in your voice purposeful? It makes you sound like an underwater goddess. Unfortunately, no. My room just has really bad reverb. And I haven't been able to fix it because it costs money. It means I kind of have to revamp my room a tad. So no, it's not on purpose. I wish I could get rid of it. It costs me, like, I've checked, it costs me around $1.2K to kind of get it fixed. So thus, until I become a decently sized VTuber in which I can fund them upgrades via Deep Blue funds, I'm a step away from it, and you guys will just have to live with this reverb, this echo. I thought waterboarding is a torture thing. I mean, any torture thing can be a kink if you want it to. I didn't say waterboarding is good, okay? Does it really add to the audio? Because I've always thought that the reverb was kind of shit. Seriously? Damn, I didn't know. I thought that it made me sound like I was in the toilet or something. MatPad records in his closet to prevent reverb. Maybe you can stream from your closet. I can't stream from my closet. My closet has no space. I have so many clothes. No, it's more like my closet is very tiny. And I have a moderate amount of clothes, actually. Willie! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I generally think it adds to the aesthetic and it makes it more comfortable. Aw, glad to hear that. The thing is, like, soundproof foam panels might help. Yeah, they would. The 1.2K was to add soundproof paneling on top of a little bit of decor and lighting for my room. It's a bit expensive because, like, right now, if it's just a few soundproof panels, I don't think it'll work. It needs to literally be half of the room that needs to be treated. I've asked a few audio engineering consultants and friends, and they have come to the same conclusion. My room is that bad. I think waterboarding might be too awful to be a kink. Like, too many people ends up with PTSD after having it done once. Perhaps. What was I gonna say? Shit. Oh, right. My latest video, the quiet trade of growing older. So if you guys noticed, that video was pretty much on the beach, at least the vibe of it, right? On the beach, outdoors. But then this is what my voice sounds like. There's a little bit of echo. So I had to add some post-editing to the voice. I had to remove the reverb a tad, because obviously when you're on a beach, there's no way you're gonna fucking echo or like have a bit of reverb. I think working around that is best. Have BGM that is also echoey and change the background into a cave. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. You know what? Maybe I could try that. I think that'd be very pretty, huh? To have a cave or echoey sort of background looking thing and have glowy lights with like, I don't know, some ambiance, crystal feeling sort of music. Ooh, that sounds very nice. It sounds like a yoga session. It sounds like a meditative session, you know, where you could like get a massage with, and oh, it's like borderline ASMR. Feel the massage on your back and feel how your muscle and truly feel how the muscles feel against my. I'ma stop. Because whatever I was gonna say afterwards can be misconstrued as sexy and kinky. So I'm gonna stop myself right there. I didn't really notice echo or reverb during the stream. It really helps on the chill vibes. That's good. I mean, look, I'm very good at catching myself, okay? It's good that some of you guys don't mention the echo. I'm curious, for you guys who notice the echo, are you guys on headphones? Is that why you guys notice it? Okay, Ara, hold on. Ugh, shudders. No, you'll never get an ASMR out of me. It's too cringy. I feel like ASMR is too cringy for me. How many of you guys enjoy ASMR? I don't judge, but like, hands up if you guys enjoy ASMR. Headphones? Yeah, no wonder. Figures that you guys noticed because of headphones. You do? Like, what do you guys particularly enjoy about ASMR? I think the one time I have listened to ASMR is only if it's smut. Yeah, the 2 times I have listened to ASMR, they were both smut. Yes, those were the only 2 times. Okay, maybe 3 times. Those were the only 3 times I have engaged in ASMR. Not for me, it feels too intimate. Personally, it clicks with my brain the right way. I used to enjoy ASMR, but then too many bad actors made it sexual. I enjoy unintentional ASMR mostly, but a little bit of regular. I see. What is smut? Smut is... Can you just Google it? I can't be bothered explaining it. You can Google it, Samurai. Basically, it's NSFW. That's the TLDR of it. You notice the echo? You like the echo? I'm glad you guys like the echo. Or I'm glad you guys don't mind it. Hi there, Sir RG. Ear tickling? Yeah, I feel like ASMR is too intrusive. Like too much in my personal space. Yeah, it's too much for me. The ASMR I like was just the stuff with ear flutter stuff. Would make my spine tingle, but not in an erotic or sexual way. See, I feel like I could never, you know, making your spine tingle. I feel like that sounds. Just thinking about it makes me kind of reel back, and I don't know what feeling is that. In an apprehensive way. It feels like I'm getting attacked. My personal zone is getting attacked, I guess. Soon you have to acknowledge us cultlings. No, you're not cultlings, you're tidelings. I listen to purposely bad ASMR, like comedic ASMR. Comedic ASMR? Why do you do that? There's just specific sounds that my brain has decided to wire directly to my battery and just goes bv. Might sound weird, but it's not an unpleasant tingle. It's a very light tingle, I guess, but I think that tingle, I guess for me, just seems uncomfortable. Yeah, for me at least. No. I don't. It's nothing bad. Don't worry, Nicholas. It's just it's a very intriguing thing for me. That's something that I can be so apprehensive about. Can be something that someone else enjoys. Humans are interesting like that. Mortals can be interesting like that. Tidlings, you're all wonderful. Noira, you are amazing as always. Gotta go to lunch. Have a good lunch, Kurt. Thanks for dropping by and thank you for your offerings towards the shrine, Kurt. Have a good one. Either is for you or isn't for you at all. Yeah. I do notice that there's like, thank you for the hydrate, I drank water. I do notice that there's some correlation between VTubers and ASMR. It's like, I think when you're a VTuber, people expect certain things. One is that you stream. Second is that you do music covers and you put out music basically. Third is that you do ASMR. Don't you guys reckon? That's like the VTuber 101, I feel like. I want my spine played like an accordion by somebody's voice. That sounds kind of hot. Thought Noira would get more wine. Nah, I don't think I will. I'm drinking water. I'm okay now. Next time. I don't want to drink too much. I don't want to trigger my gastrointestinal shit. There's definitely a set of expectations. Whoever said the spine accordion thing, I am with you. You guys are so cute. I just generally like sound things. The music stuff is mainly due to the fact that VTubing has its root in idol culture. Primarily Kizuna Ai. Yeah, that I reckon too. Because also Hololive is very... has kind of popularized that idol culture with VTubing too. So it makes sense. But ASMR, where did that come from, hey? Where do you guys reckon the ASMR, VTuber equals ASMR sort of thing came from? I think having no visual face naturally means you focus on more audio-based activities, so music and ASMR makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I think I've mentioned before, but like back then, before I did VTubing, I don't think people complimented on my voice that much. But also, to be fair, the last time I did used to stream and do content creation with my IRL was very long ago, and since then my voice has changed. ASMR had a huge blow up a few years ago, and maybe there was just an overlap on the Venn diagram. Perhaps. Lemon Leaf? Ah, yes. Was Lemon Leaf really big back then? Because I don't really know much about Lemon Leaf's history. You know, I don't really watch much VTuber content, guys. I used to, I think when I first started for research, and I had a phase where I would really like having my dinner over watching funny VTuber stuff, but I haven't really watched VTuber content for quite a while. Nowadays, the shit that I watch on YouTube is like a lot of, currently a lot of like culinary vlogs and a lot of life stuff. I like that stuff. And a lot of Veritasium, some science and education stuff, economics and geopolitical sometimes too. And yeah, that's the kind of shit I watch. Jonathan Davis, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. She was big enough that I saw her ASMR stuff. That's fair. Perhaps one of the OG Niji talent does it, but it makes sense. VTubing does focus on voice more. Yeah. The model looks amazing. Thank you. No, I do not watch Asmongold. I don't watch streamers either. I watch, like I said, I watch mostly videos on YouTube. Yeah, Veritasium is amazing. That's the sort of content I watch. A lot of like also slice of life vlogs, not like vloggers, but more like, you know, the people who kind of document their day-to-day in a very aesthetic way over like good music. I really like watching that. Are we going to have a stream where we watch you watching another VTuber stream? I don't think so. I have my own opinions about having other people's content in general as my own content, which I haven't really settled in my brain. Like, I don't do react content either, but I haven't really been able to sum up why, I guess. I think it's the idea of, okay, if I make content, I should be independent with it. And I think it's kind of rude to use other people's content as my content for my entertainment purposes. I think that's how it goes in my brain. So yes, generally I don't watch other people's stuff, nor do I do react content because of that sort of way of thinking. But I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just like a personal thing that I haven't settled with, I guess. And hello, Shelby. Thank you for clicking into the stream. Hope the model doesn't disappoint then. Chris Gesagt. Yes, Chris Gesagt is amazing too. I like watching them too. Bento construction videos? No, I haven't watched that before. Snown. I've never watched bento construction videos, hey? Maybe I should give that a shot. There are enough people that does that. I like that you try your original content. Yeah, but also I see the value of react content. Like, it's nice to be able to see how people react to other people's favorite stuff or curious stuff, you know, but I just can't seem to get it over my head. I'll figure it out one day. Yeah, I finally said Kurz gesagt correctly, right? React content sort of sucks because YouTube often replaces the OG video with a React video because it's longer and YouTube has limited space to show videos. Oh, I didn't know it worked that way. You should watch H-Bomber's guy video on plagiarism. Is it about React videos? I've seen a lot of reaction channels and they always leave a link to the original video in the description below. Yeah, but it's like I said, it's more of a personal thing that I haven't figured out in my brain that has led me to not do react stuff or like have other people's content as part of my content. I haven't made sense of it myself. Me personally, I discovered a lot of YouTubers from them reacting to my favorite creators. That's fair. That's fair. Zero Dark, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. You know, the other day, what surprised me, I think there was someone who mentioned, I can't remember who, but someone said that they found me via some best of montage. Like someone I think had me in some VTuber montage or something, and I'm like, what? How am I in a fucking montage? Like, what? Who the hell would like add me to a montage of VTubers? I'm curious, cause it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not that big yet to be included in such montage, and people don't know me. Like, I don't know how I would have ended up there. No one waves to say the last name? What do you mean no one waves to say the last name? Zero Dark Dirty. There you go. You made the highlight reel? But that's the thing. I don't even know what montage it is. It's only based on like what someone said yesterday. So, but I'm like, if it's actually true, I'm surprised that I've somehow made it into such a compilation. I want to become a VTuber so that I can become online famous because I have not accomplished anything in my life ever since getting out of high school back in May 28. You don't have to become a VTuber to accomplish something, but also consider what you mean by accomplishment and what you want out of an accomplishment. If you think that becoming online famous will lead to immediate happiness, you are very wrong. Well, you can be very wrong, it depends. Rather than assuming that being online famous will bring you a happy ending, start thinking about what it means about being happy, or what it is you want. If you want to try to find purpose in your life, then maybe try finding purpose in your life and don't just leave it up to VTubing. You get what I mean? Maybe that's the more important issue. Try to find your purpose, or like try to find what is your purpose and what you're looking for in a purpose. What exactly is it you want? What describes a purpose? What is your idea of happiness? For me, personally, my idea of happiness, everyone's idea of happiness depends on their values. Everyone's values is different. So I think everyone's idea of happiness is totally different. For me, I really like self-direction, creative expression. So the freedom to create and connection, appreciation for beauty and excellence. I really like pretty things. And I'm a very curious person. So if I'm able to live my life in a way where I'm able to fulfill all those values of mine, in which I can be curious, have freedom, have creative expression, and be able to have nice connections with people, that is my idea of happiness. See, when you're thinking about happiness and purpose in life, you should start from your values. Figure out your values first. Because I feel like a lot of what society's idea of achievement and purpose is can be very wrong. Like we mentioned earlier, right, guys? No other reason will keep you going as long as happiness will. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like happiness is also too simplified, because at the core of it, happiness depends on what your values are. So the other way you can put it is that technically you don't really know what your happiness is until you figure out what your values are, until you have the self-awareness to find out what your value is. So maybe try that first. Back when I was in elementary, when they asked me, yeah, Jonathan, but also that's how it is for a lot of people, you know? Dude, you think adults know what they want to do in life? A lot of people don't. The idea of a single purpose, like single grand purpose of life, is just too over glorified. A lot of people don't know what they want to do with life. A lot of people are winging it. So I think it's important to let go of the notion that there's one single grand purpose in life. There really isn't. Life is technically you're killing time until you die. I feel like, for me, the purpose in life is to make the most out of it. Now, define what the most out of it is. That's for you to figure out via your values. And then from your values, you can pave a path towards it. It's just, like I said, it's a very overglorified thing that there's a single purpose in life. Or like in media, or like if you see shonen anime and shit like that. Shit's so easy. Like Naruto says he wants to become Hokage, and he's so fucking sure of that shit. A lot of people in real life don't have that conviction. A lot of things it's not that simple, honestly. It's simple because it's a narrative, it's a show, it's fictional. But like in real life, it's really not that simple. In life, people say that what we mentioned earlier was that if your purpose is to get an achievement, and that achievement should bring you a lot of money, and that'll mean success. And that's what a lot of people assume. But then a lot of people also get there only to realize that it's not for them. It's not it. Like that meaning of success doesn't do anything to them. So yes, it all starts from values. I would say the core of it is your values. Thank you for the time check, by the way, earlier. I saw that. But yeah, of course, I'm not your mum. I'm not going to dictate how you live your life. I'm only giving perspective. These are the things I always do after all. I give perspective to give you guys options that you guys can look into. And I reckon you guys should do your own research. I hope at least that I give perspective enough for you guys to spark a certain curiosity into you guys to find out more about it before making some ultimatum, you know? I listened to one of Robert Sapolsky's podcast, and he shared an interesting thing specific to human brain. It not just runs on dopamine or whatever other neuromodulators that you get when you achieve something, but more on anticipation of dopamine release. So basically our passions, our expectation, how great will it be once we achieve it. Doesn't matter how realistic it is. At the same time, when you achieve it, it doesn't even feel that good. That is true. I mean, yes, I think that is true. Everything, the anticipation is always better than achieving it. That's why you see that people who are at the top of their game, or win like the top of something, they tend to fall quite quickly. For example, look at OG or any Dota players here. OG, which is an esports team who won the TI. The TI is the international, basically the international competition of Dota, 3 years back to back. A lot of the players after that like felt like they've already achieved everything and ended up being confused of what to do with their lives. Like, it's fun when it happens. The achievement is fun when you achieve it, but then after that, you're left with, oh shit, now that I've done that, what do I do? Yeah. Anyway, what was my point in saying that? My point is that I feel that the notion of having one singular purpose in life is bullshit. I think if you want to have a single if you want to go for a single purpose and go for a single thing that you really want to focus on, there's nothing wrong with that, but you should at least acknowledge the consequences of it and be aware of the reality of it. That way it's healthier, I guess. But a single but these are goals, like temporary goals. If we're talking about one singular permanent life goal, life purpose, I don't think that exists. It can exist. No, it's not that I don't think that exists. I feel like it's over glorified. It can happen for some people, but I don't think you should obsess over it if you can't find it. Says the one who gives us advice, shares knowledge, makes sure that we're okay, is there for us when we need her. I'm still not your mum though, Nolan. Viridea and Bid Off, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Oh, hold on, there's an R redeem. Fucking hell. God damn it. Yes, Onesan though. Onesan indeed. But yeah, if you guys want to check out the whole purpose thing, like I mentioned, I made a whole video about that, about the Ikigai philosophy that I broke down. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy of raison d'etre, or like reason for living, or things you wake up to. I made a whole ass yap about that. That's like 18 minutes long because I went deep into the rabbit hole. So if that sounds like your kind of vibe, you can check it out. What was it called? Waking up to meaning? Is that the name of the video title? I keep on forgetting my own videos names. Anyway, we should call it, shouldn't we? The reality, also be aware that desires are yours, and what are the desires of others. Yes, that is also very important. Being emotionally intelligent also means that you can separate between, or you can have the awareness to separate between what is something you want, what is something you need, and what is something that's of other people, and what is something of the culture around you and the society around you. I think having wisdom to navigate around that is crucial. No, I wouldn't say crucial, but it does you really well. You said a bit ago that you don't want to sound like a mum. Oddly enough, I think of you as a big sister. That's the good way to go about it. I am the One-san. I always say that. You may call me One-san. You hear things about like mother or like hag. My preferred pronoun is One-san. Yes, One-san it is. Only One-san. I'm older than all of you guys. Although you guys technically don't even know how old I am. But just call me One-san, alright? Always has been indeed. No one knows how old I am. That's why I could technically be a god. And no one will know. Yes, I am always canonically older. That's how it is. Now it's Onesan. But hey, you know what? I can't control things out of my own control. I can only control myself. But yes, Onesan it is, okay? But no hag. No hag. Not a cult. We gotta call it, guys. We gotta call it, hey? Let's call it. Alright, guys. Thank you for dropping by the Deep Blue. I hope you enjoyed your time here at the Deep Blue. Did you children have a good time at the Deep Blue? It's been a very insightful listen, and I really love the vibes. Oh, thank you, Viridea. Thank you. Hey, I'm sorry you're going through that, Jonathan. Unfortunately, I can't really say much about that, but stay strong, mate, and I hope that things will get better soon for you. Yes, shit, where was I? Yeah, if you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you drop a follow, if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And also, I stream 3 times a week. Same time, same days, every day, and you can bet on it that I'm pretty fucking consistent. You can ask the titlings here. However, I am not streaming next Wednesday, like I mentioned earlier, so I will have a 1-day break, but other than that, I will still be streaming on Tuesday and Thursday next week. We have a Cult of the Lamb stream next week, and a free talk stream, so that's gonna be fun again. And I think I'll drink some whiskey, if I can finish my bottle of wine over the weekends. What was I saying? Right, I stream every Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's at 10 p.m. GMT +8 if you're in Southeast Asia. That's at 7 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US without daylight savings. And that's at 3 or 4 p.m. if you're in the EU. Kristara, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And guys, if you haven't already, do join the Discord. The Discord is basically the content central hub. You can choose your own notifications to what you want to get notified for my videos, for my streams. And you can also hang out with the other titlings. Okami, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. You can hang out with the other titlings. We also have a dedicated space for like thoughtful and deliberate talks. And we also have a dedicated channel for like sharing good things. Like a cool thing that happened to you today. It's like, oh, I saw a squirrel today. You share that shit in that channel. Just spreading the good vibes. It's all about good vibes and escapism after all. Escapism and daydreams, right guys? So this sort of vibe, yes, it exists on Discord. Come over by Discord. If you ! Discord on YouTube or Twitch. Actually, let me do that. Discord. Let me type Discord so you guys can get the link. Come join in Discord if you haven't already, or if your preference is a subreddit, it is also... we also have a subreddit that's very lively and jovial, so maybe check out the subreddit too. What else am I supposed to say? Oh, if you also want to read more about me and find out more about me, you can. You can go on Noira.me. I actually have a website, guys. You can read about my lore. You can read about the community, like the subreddit and the Discord and everything like that. You can read all about that on the website. Noira.me. Alright, that's it. Let me find someone to raid. Did we not have a good time? Are you not entertained? It is my responsibility to have you guys entertained and have you guys just enjoying good vibes. We are. You guys are so cute. Alright, who shall we raid? Let me see. Who do we raid? I think I want to read Divi. Let me check if he's... Yeah, let's raid into... Yeah, I've been wanting to raid Divi, so let's raid into Divi. Divi is... I don't know what he's doing, but let's raid into Divi. Divinity VT. I haven't rated him in a while because usually he checks out quite earlier. You always leave these streams feeling pretty good. I'm glad that I can leave some good vibes with you guys. I think Divi, I don't know if Divi's about to sign off or like play a horror game, I can't tell. But guys, Divi is one of the first guys that got me into VTubing. He's my Oshi technically. So yes, check Divi out. He's bloody hilarious. He says he's a himbo, and I guess it's kind of true to a certain extent, but he's very entertaining, trust me. All right, thank you so much everyone, and thank you for every single contribution towards the Deep Blue and offerings towards the shrine. I'll catch you guys again next week, okay? Don't worry, I'll upload videos for this week as usual. I upload a lot of videos on YouTube, guys, so if you miss me, you can find me there, all right? Tano, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Unfortunately, we are raiding out. Have a good one, titlings. Bye-bye. Sayonara.